It's MH370. Until you do some research, don't talk to me. I'm going to find the truth while I sip this martini. Your opinion, it means squat to me. It's H370. Not all heroes wear capes. I wear glasses to see. I'm going to find the truth while I sip this martini. The trolls hate seeing me succeed, but guess what? H370. Guess what? MH370. Not all heroes wear capes. I wear glasses to see. I'm going to find the truth while I sip this martini. Your opinion, it means squat to me. Your opinion. H370. Not all heroes wear capes. I wear glasses to see. I'm going to find the truth while I sip this martini. The trolls hate seeing me succeed, but guess what?
Let's go. Happy Friday. Hello, everybody. Hello, 4Orbeez, all MH370 fans, everybody who's interested in high technology. Welcome to Technology Tonight. I'm your host, Ashton Forbes. Tonight, we are going to be talking about warp drive. So, if you've been following along with what's been going on, you'll see that we've had influencers, including the Hodge twins, retweeting a lot of our content almost on a daily basis. And today, they called out Elon Musk. Yes, the Elon Musk. They said, Elon, what is your opinion on the videos that are out there? So tonight, we're going to look at that, and then I'm going to show you guys warp drive science. People don't want to believe it's real. Okay, I'll just show you that it's real, and we'll leave it at that. So before we get started with all that, let's go ahead and thank some of the people who are in the chat tonight. Salty Decimator, Joe Valachi, I'm not sure. His Highness, good to see you. James Taplin, nice to see you. John, good to see you. William, always nice to see you. Dorian, it is party time. Cheers, Dorian. We're ready. It's martini time. It's Friday. No working this weekend. Oh, that martini is extra dirty tonight, chat. Flint Fancy, good to see you here. Yeah, Scalar Granny, shout out to Scalar Granny. Billy Brews, nice to see you as well. Appreciate you. Kevin, Hono, good morning if you are probably on the other side of the world. Sincere Sentinel, good to see you as well. Psychonautic, good to see you. Chris, nice to see you as well. Joshua Marshall, hello, welcome. Any Pat Unleashed people in here? Guys, I was up super early this morning on Pat Unleashed on the Blaze. Feel free to check it out. I'll probably try to post another link. I think it's gone public now. I'll try to get that out there. Who else we got here? Sham6, nice to see you. Michael, welcome. Anthony Williams, welcome. John Hold, I don't know if I said hi to you already, but hello, SR1977. Appreciate you guys. UFO Nut, Investigate Earth Podcast, Chad and Sherry are here tonight. T-Love, Boston Deadhead, nice to see you. Chris Asher, good to see you guys. Everybody on X, appreciate you guys as well. Steve, Warp Factor 3.1415926535 pi, basically. Hey, Mystical Wonderland, good to see you. Devos, lighting it up with the fire. Alex Carton. Dark of Hue says invite Eric Weinstein. Langigi, I'm going to get your name right one day. Welcome. My Channels, nice to see you. Paul Shields, nice to see you guys as well. He was just watching a lecture by Al Bialik. He is the guy who's talked about the Philadelphia experiment. Should be awesome. Warp. Yep, let's get the warp going. Michael, hey, everybody. Billy Brews, good to see you. JK Philly fans here. Staycation Jason, nice to see you guys as well. Into Thin Air, love it. Love to see you guys. 117, nice to see you. Martin Robert. We got a lot of new names and a lot of names that have been on there a lot. Appreciate you guys. Tired of Globalists, good to see you. Kathy D, nice to see you. David Parker. Farts for Poseidon. Yo, what's up? Heather Birdie's in the chat, guys. Heather Birdie's been she made the song that I played, the overlays, just on fire. Appreciate it. Remos, John Hold, Ironically Vague. Wow, lots of new people in here. Hey, Benjamin, nice to see you as well. I like interacting with people. Hey, Emily McKenzie sighting in the chat. Hey, how's it going? Frederick H, good to see you. Swish. I think we're getting close to the bend. And then Randy. Okay, all the people that get here early, everyone gets a shout out. Appreciate you guys. Oh, Pamela, you made it just in time. Just in time for your shout out. Oh, okay. Hey, Sniper. Sniper will get you as well. Okay, we got set our hellos to everybody out there. Okay, so the agenda tonight, as I mentioned, we're going to go over Warp Drive. We're going to look at the videos. We're going to play the Bob Greenier clip. If you haven't seen that, it's about 7 minutes long, but it's absolutely worth it. And then, Arwin's here. Good to see you as well. Myself, got a couple more people. Thank you for being here. Oh, Lulu's angry. Prometheus, appreciate you as well. Yeah, can we talk about the fact that the video depicts a Citrix session? Yeah, I'm going to show the videos as well so that everybody gets up to date. I think it's important to show the videos pretty frequently so that people are clear on what we're dealing with. So we're going to show the videos. We're going to do Bob Greenier. I'm going to make a couple brief statements. And then we're going to look at Kona Blue teleportation study by Eric Davis, warp drive mechanics, warp field being accidentally discovered, and warp physics. And then we're going to look at ER equals EPR and humanly traversable wormholes. Boy, we got a schedule on our hands tonight. It's going to be a good one. So you know what? Let's just get straight to it. What do you guys think? Okay, let's start with the videos. Video file. So start with, what are we even talking about here, guys? What is warp drive? What is it? The MH370 videos for people who are new. MH370 videos are these videos that reemerged on the social media back in August. I've kind of taken upon myself to promote these videos very heavily so that they don't disappear to the wayside. Actually, before we get to this, let me pull this back up. I want to show the recent comings and goings on Twitter real quick. So let's take a look at that. Here we go. This should work. Okay. I wish I could just get this to default to the other one. I like it when it's on the right, not the left. Oop. Okay. So that's my pinned tweet here. Here's we're live. Okay. So let's start from this one here. So a drone video. This is actually a clip from when I was on earlier this morning with the Pat Unleashed. So someone clipped it, or Why Me clipped it. So shout out to Why Me here if you guys want to follow Why Me, El Jono. So he clipped this. It's basically just me going over the videos as well as the modified version of the videos, I think, right here. Yeah, the one where it's like, you know, the black and white and what have you. And I explained the details. Should we just do that? Maybe I should just show this video. Maybe that's what I should do. So just for the quick background, the Hodge twins, you know, retweeted it. That's why it's got so many views, I think like an hour or two ago. And, you know, of course, there's a lot of controversy, a lot of trolls in the chat. And then after that, they asked what Elon Musk thought. So that was their retweet. Is there a way I can check the retweets? There, right here. Elon Musk, what do you think of this? Okay, 163,000 views. So we're trying to get Elon Musk to weigh in on this. I think everybody wants to know what Elon Musk's opinion are on these videos. There's no way he's not familiar with what's been going on with this case. I have to be one of the fastest growing accounts. I mean, not the fastest growing, but one of the fastest growing. I'm talking about some pretty crazy stuff out there that would, you know, validate Tesla and pretty much obsolete his rocket technology that's out there. So you would think he's got to have some opinion on these videos. I just want to know what it is. Even if he thinks the videos are fake, that's fine. I want to know what his opinion is out there. And then I wrote this thing, and I'm going to kind of talk about this here in a minute about the spoon situation. It's more of a meta post. And then I just retweeted the Hodge twins because I also want to know what Elon Musk thinks here. I want to understand how many smart people we got to wake up with this. I want his opinion on this. I feel certain, absolutely certain, I would have been banned from any other platform out there. I've actually talked to Adrian, who's, you know, he's not an Elon Musk impersonator. He just happens to sound exactly like him. Adrian's a cool guy. I didn't actually ever ask him directly for his opinion, but I've been in several spaces with him and we've talked. I like him a lot, actually. So that's where we're at with that stuff. Let's go ahead and take a look at the videos. In fact, I think I'm going to first just play this clip here. Can I even play this clip? I don't think I can play it because let me see here. Let's stop that. Let me try it again. Chrome tab. Oh, okay. I think I can. Let's see. Does that work?
Thermal HD, clip 7,
yeah.
Joe.
This one, yep. So you can see the MQ-1C Gray Eagle right there. I mean, it's clearly an MQ-1C Gray Eagle. If you guys look it up, the camera's underneath the wing and the custom loadout location. This thing is flying so close to the plane that it indicates an operation. Like any military person that looks at this is going to know this looks like an operation. This camera is being manually controlled, and there's a delay in it, and it shakes more accurately when they zoom in, just like a real camera would. You can see the same orbs here, and this is where we can tell what's going on with these orbs. This is a plasma field.
Wow.
So this orb, this is not a metal sphere. This is like a plasma field around the orb. And when it zooms in even more, first of all, you can see these dark lines are actually in front of the orbs. They're not behind the orbs. They're in front of them. And it's like their own gravity well that they're pulling forward. Then you can see the heat signatures on these orbs as well, spinning around on their axis, which is consistent with topological monopoles that this science wasn't even public back then. And you saw that disappear. And if you let it play here as well, it will show, there's like a slow-mo version if you just let it keep going here, where it shows the orbs in more detail. So the other part too is like, watch this next part where it goes and shows it, repeats it in slow-mo, and you're like, if you made a fake video, why are you adding these slow-mo elements to it so that like if there was any mistake, people would catch them? Right. It's because they want to show people these are real. They want people to look at this and go, this is a plasma sphere. You can see it. There's probably something inside there. And the reason why I say that is because we've got multiple different effects happening here. Like these things are ignoring gravity, they're pulling themselves forward, and then they converge and zap this plane in this cold endothermic event, which is an absorption of energy. To be able to do all of that, I feel like there's got to be something mechanical in there. So this person adds this, you can see that heat signature in there as well. And it's like a kind of like a orange slice almost is what it looks like, called the Ukanavasara in terms of like the Thor's hammer shape. And then it shows the super slow-mo here where you actually, when you look into a lot of detail, you can see the orbs reorient. Once you, like right here, when you see the orb right there, the orbs are reorienting. The heat signature goes away for a second, comes back, and then they got into orientation, and then they converge. This is consistent with something called Coulomb's law, which says that the force, electric force will increase as the distance between the charges decreases, and it goes up exponentially. So people wonder, how do we get enough energy here? Is, well, you take these charged orbs and then you jam them together, and then the force skyrockets in the air. That guy is very handsome. Look at this guy. I'm gonna play the last video after we looked at that one. This is one that I made that was a combo. People made like color changed versions of this to like let certain details stick out. This is the black and white version of it. And the black and white right here really just helps you see the movement of these orbs, like how perfect it is in this equilateral triangle that you see as they're spinning around the plane here. And then it'll show a super slow-mo of a close-up where you can actually see that the orbs are like getting distorted when they go through the smoke trail that we see there of the plane. And I just can't imagine how somebody could have faked all these frames to this level of detail. You know, this is just actually a real MQ-1C drone filming 777.
Yeah.
And we're seeing some crazy, I used to call them super harmonic orbs, but at this point, like I think it's, I don't know, maybe plasma, if you want to think of it like that. And this one, you can see the black lines in front of the orbs very clearly here. You see those black lines pulling them forward, kind of wrapping around.
Oh yeah.
To me, I don't know how anyone could even come up with that. I've never seen anything like that or heard of anything like that in my life.
Yeah, Ashton, I don't want to throw you off of your presentation here, but I think that the original video that really caught your attention, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't know if you want to go through this, but it was very compelling to hear your theory on who could have leaked that footage. And you're trying to go down that trail with the attorney and stuff. Can you briefly just explain your thought on who might have leaked this stuff?
Yeah. And so I think that the person who leaked this is Lieutenant Commander Edward C. Lynn. I looked at these videos back in October. I thought, wow. Lieutenant Commander Edward C. Lynn, chat. So that's the drone video. I think that's a good analysis. That prevents me having to say too much, thankfully, so I don't get exhausted here. How do I close out of this? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so somebody said, you know, the videos that just have too much detail, it's almost more impressive if the videos are fake because of how much detail it would require in order to fake that drone video. I'll go ahead and play the video while I'm speaking as well about this. Let's do... Let's go right here. There we go. Okay. Present, share screen. Sorry, one sec, chat. I'm gonna play just the original drone video while I'm talking here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, there's incredible amounts of details in there. Somebody asked, didn't AARO confirm it? No, what the AARO did though is they didn't say it was fake, and they came back and they said that initial research into MH370s found, I'd have to read the exact wording, so I'm paraphrasing, but some type of United States surveillance after the plane went dark, after the plane like lost radar contact, which you could either argue was when it first went dark or the military radar contact at 1815 UTC or 1822 UTC. Either way, like that's consistent with these videos and the time frame that we put on these videos. And then they asked for the fidelity of the videos and where they originally came from. So to me, AARO coming back with that response blows my mind because that's huge. People also mentioned, you know, it's important that you notice there's the sine waves that these orbs are making. They're actually, when they're spinning around like that, they're making a perfect sine wave pattern, which I don't think is accidental. It's not like somebody was just like, oh, I'm going to turn these orbs into a perfect sine wave pattern. Like, there's just no way. Way too many details out there. If cloning is real, I hope my Scarlett Johansson clone shows up soon. Or settle for my, what's her name? Tiffany Gomas clone. That MFer isn't real. She's hilarious. He's actually VFX. I remember him from a game in the 90s. It's true. I'm actually CGI, guys. The videos are real, but I'm CGI. Let's see. What else? Yeah, Lynn has the biggest orbs of them all. This guy got gaslit and like leaked these videos 10 years ago, and like we weren't even close to accepting this could be possible back then. So tonight we're going to be looking into warp drive to show how it is possible. Any tips to get kids intrigued and invest their education to understand MH370? Yes, my tip is look into electrical engineering. I was just talking to several people today about this, which is where, like, we have all these old engineers. Like we have Hal Pudoff. You've got the Eric Davises, these guys, like even Sarfati's like in his 85 or something like that. Where are the young people? Where are the young people? That's a big problem. There's no young people. In fact, this is probably why China will overtake us, because their young people are getting into engineering and science and STEM and all this stuff. And our people are going into AI and TikToks. We need kids involved in electrical engineering. Tell your kids that electrical engineering is where the magic exists. Tell them that Tesla was right. Tell them don't listen to their professors when they say Tesla is wrong. Tell them to look into the Maxwell equations and realize that Heaviside rewrote the equations incorrectly. That's how we will come back in this battle of information and technology that's out there. Okay. Oh, 1 sec, chat. You're the cutest, chat. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Find me a detailed UAP video. Here you go. Like, this is the problem with the debunkers. You'll see say this all the time, but everybody says this, which is, show me a video that's not in low resolution and whatever. I show them the most high quality video that exists in the whole world. And they immediately go, that's fake. I could make that in 5 minutes. And then literally no one can recreate the video. Even with an exact video to copy, they still can't recreate it. That's the world we live in. That's the real world we live in, is that you give them the video that they want, that they claim they asked for, that has details that nobody could even know about. Like, the absolute proof these videos are real are the coordinates in this video right here in the bottom left. The coordinates in the bottom left of this video are absolute. That should be all the proof anyone needs to know these videos are both real. Is that in the bottom left of this video, you can literally see coordinates, and the coordinates were not publicly known. This is the real location of the plane in the Nicobar Islands. Real location where they claim the plane, also the location they claim the plane turned into the South Indian Ocean, which is the only evidence that we have to throw away. And even with that information was not publicly known until 9 days after this video was published. And that's all you should have to tell anybody. That's absolute proof. This is MH370, that these videos are real. Doesn't matter. Bounces right off people. They just don't understand what proof means. I hear people in some of the chats too going, what's the proof that this is the plane? What's the proof these videos are real? Guys, this is more proof than any murder conviction out there. People get convicted of murder off of a fraction of this amount of evidence. A tiny fraction. So here we go. Let's watch this video. Yeah, it's definitely a weapon out there. Helen Keller's, yeah. Can't see anything. I don't see it. Yeah, the UFO community is not very intelligently rigorous. Let's just say that, right? Everybody just wants to be told that aliens are out there so they can get to clapping those cheeks. On this video here, I'm gonna have to make it a little bigger on my screen. Sorry, chat. Let me see. There's the mouse. So we see this mouse down here. Everybody, there's a lot of people. When I was on the Pat Unleashed, they pointed out that they thought, oh, where am I looking up at? People think they're looking up in this video. That's how little perspective we have. That's how little the public understands about satellite capability. Literally, the video is called satellite video. People think they're looking up. This mouse should be all the additional evidence that anyone else needs. So I didn't even know about the telemetry data until like a month ago, maybe 2 months ago at the most, back in February probably. And the mouse should have been enough absolute proof. The mouse is 24 frames per second, indicating we're logged into an actual remote terminal session, a Citrix session. People don't know what Citrix means. It means you're a remote terminal session. You're on your computer. You're logged into a database on the other side of the world. And the video screen is cropped because we see the mouse come in from the top right and go off the bottom left. And the background is 6 frames per second, which is exactly what you'd expect for a computer-rendered environment that's pulling data either in real time or huge swaths of data from all the satellites out there. I mean, it's just basic logic, basic critical thinking. It doesn't require any special knowledge, that should be absolute proof the videos are real. But the thing that holds people back, even in the face of that absolute proof these videos are real, they just can't believe what they're looking at with their eyes. That's the only thing that holds people back. People just cannot believe what they're looking at with their eyes. They can't believe that we've got orbs that can pull this off. They can't believe that we can warp a plane. It's crazy. And that's why, like, again, this issue is not about proving the technology, even though we're gonna show it tonight. The issue here is waking people up, getting people to wake up. I wish these videos were fake. I don't want to live in holographic principle. Well, actually, I don't really care. I don't mind living in a holographic principle. And yeah, so you can see this pattern too. Also, guys, like the part where the orbs come in here at like Mach 3 speeds, and this first one is like clearly got some kind of tracking capability and is trying to lock into the plane. Well, somebody made up that detail too, where it doesn't lock in right away. And then the second and third orb wait for like 5 or 6 seconds, and then they come flying in and they get into position immediately. Like this one's already locked into triangle formation without the third one even getting there. And the third one comes in right here and it locks into this third location right here. Boom. Now they're clearly mapping the plane. Like you don't need a advanced PhD to look at what they're doing and be like, oh, that's clearly got some purpose. And the pattern being a perfect sine wave is also another good indicator. Somebody's literally recording this on their laptop or desktop, and they're going, holy shit, people got to see this. I'm going to screen record this. And then, they change orientations, and they're 2 videos in perfect sync. You see them slow down right here. The orbs slow down right there. Way, way, way too many details, man. And none of these details I'm talking about have ever been debunked. In fact, the debunkers have never even addressed these details. So this is the problem, is that the debunkers just cherry pick. They cherry pick what they're going to argue against, and they're so stupid that they think that if they just prove, they make one false claim that they think pokes a hole in the story, that everything's debunked. Like, that's not how logic and reason work at all. At all. You need a full comprehensive story for who made these videos and how, and every single detail in them needs to be refuted. Every single one. So if anyone doesn't understand why we're still talking about these, that's why. And if you're the kind of person that's going to post derogatory stuff in my replies, you're going to get blocked right away. If you cry about getting blocked or other people getting blocked, you're going to get blocked. I'm never going to unblock anybody ever again. So heed this warning. Okay. I'm never going to unblock anybody ever again. There's not going to be another unblocking. You're just going to be permanently blocked from this point forward. So feel free to move on with your life and do something else and go back to sleep if you don't want to deal with these videos being real. No one's going to make you come along. Okay. So we've looked at the videos. We've looked at that. Why is that warp drive? The reason why it's warp drive is when you look at that video and you see all this stuff going on here. I'll go back to it one more time. Because it could be annihilation. It could be as dark it is to talk about. If this was annihilation, though, we're not going to have all this stuff going on with the orbs. There's too much going on with the orbs, with the spinning around it. Like, you don't need all this, this stuff happening if all you're trying to do is annihilate the plane. If you just shoot a beam at it and you shoot a directed energy weapon at it, you just zap it and it's just poof, it's just gone. You'd only have all this stuff going on if your intention is to move the plane or hide the plane to a different location. I would say there's more of an argument of it being some kind of weird advanced stealth that we don't quite understand than there is of being annihilation. And the only reason why I think it could be annihilation is that you're like warp the plane to the center of the Earth. That's essentially the equivalent of annihilation. So for me, it's like 1% chance annihilation or stealth and 99% chance that this is just warp drive. This is Star Trek warp drive that we're looking at right there. Like real Star Trek warp drive, not just science fiction shows. And that what we see there with that zap is a wormhole, equivalent of a wormhole. So we're going to go through that science. People also wonder, why is it white in this video? Well, we actually found that a lot of the IR videos are reverse heat signatures, so that, first of all, it's false color IR, so they can pretty much just render it in whatever they want. And if somebody was faking it and they faked it black in the other video, they would fake it black in this video as well. It's white here, probably because it's inverted. Like, we've seen IR inverted videos where dark is black, dark is hot. So could be, but we can't say for sure. What we do know is that the capabilities here that I had speculated with the Google Earth mixed with this, what do we call it? Quick terrain modeler, 3D rendering software. Like, that's exactly what this uses. We found out like just a few days ago. The CIA literally funded Google Earth. They literally funded Google Earth. So that's why we see the coordinates in the bottom left. They're literally using a military version of Google Earth with video playback that has some kind of 3D rendering capability. Somebody posted in the replies as well that you can actually rotate the camera 360 degrees, which is probably why we see the angle. It probably doesn't have to do with where the satellite is. It's probably just that they have video playback, and this is for tracking purposes, for tracking assets and enemies and stuff like that. So incredibly powerful surveillance capabilities that we are just disclosing to the world. The military should have told me to stop if they didn't want me to disclose this information. So it's on them at this point. I think they just thought, actually, I'll talk about that in a second, but I think they just thought that like this would go away and no one would believe me and I wouldn't get a big following and stuff like that. And so they thought they would never have to talk to me or anything like that. And now it's just the point where it's unmanageable, where like I have too big of a following. There's not any way to silence me. They're probably afraid that if they come talk to me, that I'll just tell the world. Like imagine the CIA comes to talk to me like, yo, Ashton, could you stop talking about what we did to MH370? And then I get on Twitter and I go, CIA just came to my door and told me to stop talking about MH370. That would be funny as hell. Cheers, guys, by the way. Cheers. Happy Friday. Yeah, there's a lot of ignorant trolls in the replies, but we're going to talk about that in a second here, and then we're going to dig into the science. We can't wake everybody up, guys. That's the reality. So I'm going to give you guys a quick analogy, which is they convince. So for 100 years since the flu pandemic in 1918, we had known that masks don't stop viruses. We got away from miasma theory, this idea that viruses are just all around us all the time, and it's just in a miasma that's going to get at you. And in 2020, the governments of the world were able to convince people that wearing a cloth mask over your face would stop a submicroscopic virus from infecting you, which makes no sense whatsoever. Anybody that rubs two brain cells together can realize that a piece of cloth on your face covering your breathing holes is not going to stop a virus. Once you realize how small a virus is, you realize that it's not something that's feasibly possible. And once you realize that how viral replication works, you realize that even if you were to stop a couple virus particles, it's not going to stop you from getting sick. It only takes one to get into your body and start replicating. So basic science would tell you that a mask doesn't do anything. And yet you still, to this day, see people outside wearing masks outside thinking that it's protecting them. So just imagine the level of brainwashing that is possible for people to believe something that's completely counter to reality. And here's the problem is that now you realize why people will get so offended at looking at this. I think even if AARO came out and said these videos are real, then people are still not going to believe it. That's just the truth. We just can't wake everybody up to the reality of this. So if the mask thing offends you, I apologize, but that's just the sad state of it, guys. And there's going to be people that are going to wear masks for the rest of their lives. And there's going to be people that don't believe these videos will be real for the rest of their lives. I'm just letting you know that. And just because you like wearing a mask doesn't mean that you can't believe these videos are real. It's not a one or the other kind of thing. I'm just trying to tell you guys that brainwashing is extremely powerful, and it's not something that you can just break down very easily. Okay, now let's take a look. Let's close this. Remove. Stop that. Remove from studio. Okay. Let's see, what am I saying? Okay, let's look at the Bob Greenyer video right now. So the Bob Greenyer video, if you guys are not familiar with Bob Greenyer, oh yeah, let's take a quick look at the Sibbers video as well. Good call. So I guess we have to show Sibbers because people really don't realize
persistent infrared surveillance continues to be a critical national security space mission.
Okay, global persistent infrared surveillance. That's what the narrator just said. Global persistent infrared surveillance. So if you don't even believe what I'm telling you, all you have to do is listen to Lockheed Martin's video here. Just listen to what my man just said. Look at the image on your screen right now. We're mapping the whole world all the time. This doesn't even include the low Earth orbit satellites. The low Earth orbit satellites are extremely close. What we're seeing there, the geostationary satellites that are very far away, and we're seeing the mid-Earth orbit satellites. These ones are probably the relay satellites here. The reason why they're relay is because they get into a position where they can see like every other satellite that's out there. But look at how huge the swaths of scanning that they're doing. They also have a stare and they have a scanner on them. So they have two different cameras. I mean, I don't know how people can deny this is what we're looking at when we are staring at the capabilities of the system, which was, by the way, turned on in 2013, became fully operational in 2013, the year before MH370 disappeared. Nice timing. NROL 22, what we see in the satellite video in the bottom left, is the first launch of the Sibbers system in 2006. I don't think that's a coincidence. People say, well, USA 184, which is NROL 22, was not in the right location. You're right, because it's a relay satellite. It's a command satellite. It's one of these mid-Earth orbit satellites. That doesn't mean that I don't think anyone ever argued that we were looking at USA 22 or 184. No one ever argued that we were looking at USA 184 in the video. We argued as a ground-based computer system that can look through all the satellites simultaneously and build a ground-based computer program. So now we've got that up there. Let's see. How do they stay in position? Pulsed plasma pencil thrusters. That might actually be pretty accurate. Yeah, I like to say hi to the satellites every day when I go out walk my dog. I walk Lulu. I wave up to the satellites, smile at them. You know, they might pull that up in a year and look back, and then they're going to see you, and they're going to be like, "Oh, that guy's a nice guy." He may be disclosing all of our surveillance capabilities and our super advanced hypersonic weapons, but he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Guys, if you look at, by the way, the masking, I'm not going to talk too much more about this, but learn the difference between relative risk reduction and absolute risk reduction. The absolute risk reduction of wearing a mask is negligible. It's essentially zero. That's the ultimate science and math behind it. So that's the sad part. If you want to wear a mask, go nuts. I really, really, really don't care. But it's not going to stop you from getting sick. Thank you. You enjoyed me on Pat Unleashed. I appreciate it. Okay. So let's watch. Made a movie and included the capabilities. I don't know what that means. Yeah, Lulu probably senses the satellite people up there. She's, I don't know where she went. She's super smart doggo. Okay, let's watch some Bob Greenyer, guys, and I'm going to sip my martini while we watch this. This is probably one of my best edited videos that I made. I tried to make it as short as possible. Bob Greenyer is...
I saw the Jeremy Reese interview.
He likes to talk, so I'll give you guys the background on this. I'm getting to be a little edit monkey, too, with respect to some of this stuff. Real quick, somebody asked if I looked into Thomas Townsend Brown. Watch the Jesse Michaels piece about Thomas Townsend Brown. Very interesting. I talk to Jesse every once in a while. That's all I'll really say with respect to that. And okay, so Bob Greenyer. This was before I ever met Bob Greenyer. Somebody says you got to watch this video this guy made about the video about you and the MH370 videos. So he watched the Alien Scientist podcast that I went on with Jeremy Reese and Crypto Alchemist, who sometimes you guys will see in the chat, Burn Eye. Make sure you guys follow them. So he saw it and he was like, whoa. Especially what he saw was the orbs, the plasma orbs with the Ukana Visara in it, the heat signature. And he goes, oh, I know what that is. That's low energy nuclear reactions. That's the same stuff that he had seen experimentally. So he made this YouTube video and I clipped it to show you guys, I think, the most important parts. So this is a real engineer, not like somebody who's a science influencer. This guy actually is an experimental engineer who knows all the science, who goes around the world visiting people that are working on cold fusion. That's what low energy nuclear reactions are, cold fusion. LENR is just the, new PC term for it because people don't like the idea of cold fusion. This guy is, in my opinion, one of the aforementioned experts in the world on cold fusion, in my opinion. So here we go.
When I saw the Jeremy Reese interview and realized that this was a video from 2014, and with the context that I've just given you and what you see, and knowing that this can cause things to disappear, and when they tend to do that disappearance, they go in a flash, I was compelled to do this. So for those that like to attack the project when they feel that we're going off subject, I'm sorry for you, but I believe that this is fully on subject. And I think that at some point we've got to address ways in which this technology has been used, because we need to wake up to its possibility.
Kaboom. This is a guy that was afraid to talk about it because he doesn't want to open himself up to undue criticism. You can tell he's skeptical. He's not that he's skeptical. He's just afraid to talk about it, but he feels compelled to because it's so accurate scientifically with respect to this magnetic monopole and the shape that we see in there being consistent with plasma physics and low energy nuclear reactions. Wild. So, you know, just that first piece should tell you, like, that's the disclaimer being like, I don't like to look at UFO videos, but this one's too crazy not to talk about.
If it turns out to be fake, well, it's a pretty well-informed fake, is all I can say. And I didn't go back in time and force them to make this video with what we know now.
So there you go for AKA Dragon PC. How's that for you? Has there been any updates since the Danny Jones podcast? Well, how about a real cold fusion engineer saying that he didn't go back in time to make these videos, and that if they made these in 2014, it's a very well-informed fake that's accurate to the science.
This would kind of imply that these are warmer than the environment, and for that to happen, one might expect that if they didn't have their own energy source, they must be extracting the energy from the environment. That the exotic vacuum objects will fire a thing, or it has some sort of projected field out in front of it that will cause other exotic vacuum objects to orbit around them. So there is something that goes out in front. I believe that this is the toroidal moment, the beam that goes out far faster in front of it. And that, along with the, let's say, the Ukon of Asara, this part of the fractal toroidal structure, this part here, this changes epsilon 0 of the...
Okay, people want to know, what does epsilon 0 mean? That's the vacuum permittivity of free space. So he's talking about extracting energy from the vacuum, from the environment around it. This is the idea of cold fusion. It's also the idea of over unity, and it theoretically can be the idea of the ether and free energy as well. So, and I just want to make sure, is that what epsilon 0 is? Yeah, vacuum permittivity of free space. Okay, so I'm getting better at my stuff.
Physical vacuum, and it has like a beam that comes out in front of it, and that enables all of the funky magic that these things can do. Often we are seeing, and maybe, I don't know if I can zoom in, I can't zoom in.
Yeah, so actually that is the Tesla symbol. That literally is the Tesla symbol. We need Elon Musk to give us a freaking statement. You guys see why I need Elon Musk to give us a statement on this? We're literally talking about Tesla was right. All the textbooks in the world are wrong. Rocket propulsion is obsolete. And the heat signature is the literal Tesla symbol. What the hell, man? Elon, where are you at, my bro? Where are you at? I think, honestly, that Elon is too afraid to talk about these videos because he's got 100 million followers. And the moment he shines a light on this with his 100 million followers, my follower is going to go up by like 50,000. And the government's going to get really awkward. Like the moment Elon were to retweet, quote, or even reply on one of my posts, like this thing's going to blow up. And I think he knows that. So he's being very careful. There's no way he doesn't know about these videos. Yeah, the VFX guys that think they can make this in 2014 with a fully 3D rendered environment and fully volumetric clouds, they're just smoking crack. They're just smoking crack. You're right. There's just no way.
We are seeing the non-radiating boundary, and you can go and look at this video itself, but inside that there is a much smaller thing, and it does tend to be offset. It does tend to be offset, and that would be consistent with the toroidal structure in the center and the kind of mushroom that it creates with the material as it goes around orbiting the fractal toroidal structure in the...
Real quick shout out. I see. Thank you very much, FL. Man, you guys donated or have been on fire. Appreciate it. Thumbnails on Sabrine Hassenfelder. I think I might have been too harsh on Sabrine Hassenfelder early on. I didn't agree with her on the delayed choice quantum eraser experiment. But when I saw her post about academia and how bullshit academia is, I have to agree with her there. Academia is complete horse shit. Dark energy and dark matter are just made up terms that we use for stuff that we can't understand. I think that dark energy and dark matter will go away the moment we understand that the ether exists. But warp drives, new simulations, I may have to take a look at that later on. In fact, I'll go ahead and just put that on my back burner here now. We are going to look at some warp drive stuff here, though, in a minute. Yeah, there it is. Oh, that was only 2 weeks ago. Okay. I may do something on that tomorrow. I'm probably not going to get around that tonight. But thank you again, FL. Appreciate you, man. Let's keep watching.
Center of the exotic vacuum object. Look, here we go. We have our non-radiating boundary, okay? And we have this little tuft of thing at the top, right? Now, I'm going to go back to the monopole in this presentation. And we have shown that our work is actually more accurate than this. So if you can imagine this here, this is where the torus is kind of focusing its moment to lead to the monopole location, the topological monopole here. This is this dome that you get. So here, this is this top. So that the monopole is actually...
So let me, and I saw Denise from Yoga said something. Hello, how's it going? Oh, Sabine. Okay, I don't know, whatever. I'm butchering your name. I apologize. So when he was showing those images a second ago, what he's talking about is a toroidal structure, a donut shape. And then it's shooting the energy through it, and then it's like an umbrella where it's coming out. That's what he's saying we're looking at here in this plasma field. And if you guys go look at plasma physics and you see the toroidal structure it makes, you will see the dome over the top of it just like this as well.
Actually at the base of this bit here, okay? And this is the glowy bit that you see as material is pushed through, but then it hits the top of the non-radiating boundary and is fed back into the coherent structure, okay? Here, this is very, very clear. This is almost exactly looking like the Aalto University peer-reviewed published structure. So the monopole would be at this point. The toroidal moment would be going out this way, and you can see the dark area in front. So it's cohering energy from here, okay? So this is traveling in this direction, and it's cohering energy from in front of it, and that comes into what I call the Borg. Yeah, it becomes part of the collective.
So he just explained how it's able to extract energy, and he was able to figure out the direction of travel just from looking at the heat signature, which I think gives a vast amount of credibility to his analysis that's there. Thank you, William Bill. I have not talked to Florence Ochangi in a couple weeks, but I prefer to have our opinions be separated. I don't necessarily want, I mean, this is so far beyond the paradigm. I don't want to intermingle my theories with anybody else anymore. I've also had a bad experience with major influencers, so I don't plan on intermingling with any other major influencers in that way. I'm just going to leave this as my thing, and I'll take all the heat, or I guess the credit, although MH370X, all you guys with us will also get the credit as well. Here we go.
There, this is very, very clear. Okay, so the monopole's location is here. This is the non-radiating boundary. Okay, this is the phase inversion. The dark area above will be where it's cohering energy, and you will have the disruption beam coming in to the monopole at the bottom here. So when I saw this video, it was like, well, to fake this one back in 2014 showed incredible understanding of technology that no one had an understanding outside of the black world, even if there was anyone that had an understanding in the black world. To fake this one and have the thermal imaging correctly representing and the non-radiating boundary and everything is beyond imagining. Here,
beyond imagining. So he says the satellite video, I mean, most people don't even know, unless you're in the black world. He's talking about the intelligence communities, wouldn't even know what a satellite imagery looks like. You show random people the satellite imagery, they think you're looking up. That's how little anyone has any idea. They still think we look down through satellites in outer space. Like, guys, it's 2024. We use computers for everything right now. So that one is already hard enough. For this one, with the science and the thermal video, there's no chance anybody could fake this. Nobody would have had all the requirements to know how the science would even look. It's just simply too accurate. And that's what he's saying right there in general. I don't know anything about Wilhelm Ranch, but I do like the ether. I think it's a pretty cool idea, and I think it's a cool word too. I think there is some kind, I don't know if there's a computer inside the orbs, but I do think there's some kind of device. It wouldn't surprise me if it looked a lot like the DOMs in Antarctica, like some kind of cylindrical device with microchips in it that's producing the field, the much larger field around it. I would even argue that the device could probably be as small as my iPod's thing. This is how small it theoretically could be, but I'm guessing it's more like the size of a basketball. But that's just, again, total guess. We can't really tell because when we look at this plasma field, we can't see what's inside of it. It's the plasma field is blocking our view in general. But the reason why I think that is because there's too much going on. Like there's too many different effects happening with these orbs. They're defying gravity. They're pulling themselves forward. And then they're also shooting some kind of scalar beam at the plane to induce the singularity. To do all three of those things, it can't just be a ball of electricity floating around. It's got to be some kind of microchips device inside. Do we know where they came from? We can't tell, but it could theoretically come from a satellite, an airplane, or even a submarine. The second orb seems to come out of the water. So good question on that. Oh, another donation. Thank you very much. Death Proof Bum. Thank you, Bill Will. Apart from alien scientists, you actually brought the biggest breaking news to the public, but unfortunately, most don't even realize it. Yeah, it's kind of sad that most don't even realize this. This is probably the biggest story in the history of the world in terms of disclosing secret information. And I'll make a statement kind of about this here in a minute. And most of the world has no idea. It's just a matter of waking people up. And a lot of people you tell this information to, and it's just so far beyond what they think the government would be able to pull off that it breaks people's minds. It really does. So thank you very much for that donation. Appreciate you. Here we go. Yeah, and you got to keep in mind, this is from 2014. So if this came out now, I'd say, well, AI could probably help out and make these videos. I'd still think they're pretty damn compelling. But in 2014, people thought AI was like, made up. People didn't think AI was even going to be a thing. And the technology from the software and hardware side, it's come a long way in 10 years. And not to mention that people had no idea what drone video looked like in 2014, nor had there been any satellite leaks in like 30 years. It wasn't until we saw the Trump picture that we had some idea of the satellite capabilities, where we see infrared, we see the angle, and that also probably was a video, but they just took a still image of it. And they probably leaked that one image. It was specifically set up in a way where it doesn't show you the capabilities of our video satellite capabilities, because they don't want people to figure that out. And then the drone video, like the FLIR Navy videos, weren't even leaked till 2017, or they weren't declassified. And the ones that were out there had been debunked by the same people that debunked these videos. That's not a coincidence either. The debunkers have been wrong pretty much all the time. On any high quality videos, the debunkers have been wrong like 100% of the time. And they've never admitted to being wrong. Mick West fabricated a fake debunk, 2 fake debunks about this. The one that you guys saw from the Corridor crew and Danny Jones, that's not from them. That's Mick West's debunk. They just repurposed it as their own and pretended like it was their own. That's how much these people lie to you. They don't even tell you that. They literally just pretend like they thought of it. That's how stupid these people are. That's what a Redditor is. A Redditor is somebody who doesn't think for themselves, that incorporates somebody else's beliefs as their own and doesn't even tell you that they did. And that's called lying. That's called deception. Because if they linked it to Mick West, and this is the same reason a one-day-old Reddit account posted that was linked to Mick West, is that if Mick West posted, no one would believe it because he's full of shit. Everybody knows he's full of shit. It's the same reason why Danny Jones and the Corridor crew don't mention they came from Mick West. Because then people find out those guys are full of shit.
If that doesn't tell you you've got your Ukon of Asara there, I don't know what will, right? It looks like this, okay? That is the bit that changes epsilon 0, okay? The permittivity of the vacuum, okay? And it's pulling it in here. It's correctly facing forward as it is at the moment. And so what you would want to do is you would want to bring these in, get them into their alignment, get them tracking the device accurately, get them equidistant, and then what you would do is you would rotate their orientation so their toroidal moments link up and make a super tor that would then have its azimuth going through the center of the craft that you are wanting to either disappear or teleport.
And so there, Bob Greener even explains that, he was more on the idea this was annihilation, but he was absolutely open to the idea of teleportation, which is really warp drive. It's not traditional teleportation. The orbs are not 150 meters round. I mean, you can see the size of them compared to the plane here. So diameter-wise, we're talking probably 20 to 30 feet in diameter. That's the field around around the larger or smaller object that's in there. So just keep that in mind. I don't like talking too much about these other podcasters, but yeah, Danny Jones, guys, has never treated a guest the way that he's treated me, which should give you guys huge amounts of pause. And the reason why he did that, he even said so in the chat when it was live streaming, it was because of his like douchebag boyfriend, Julian Dory. like came at me for no reason as well, and also acted like a douchebag to the point where he deleted his entire YouTube video because he was getting so many negative comments about it. It was impacting his reputation as a podcaster. That's the true story of it. And Danny Jones was just as bad. Danny Jones does interviews with people that claim to have lost their virginity to aliens. He went with Chris Bledsoe and tried to summon orbs on a beach for 2.5 hours and then said it happened, but didn't take any videos of it. Danny Jones doesn't press anybody on anything. These guys both talk to CIA agents all the time. These guys are compromised. You need to be very careful about which podcasters you watch and which ones you listen to, because a lot of them are full of shit. And if you are somebody who goes on podcasts, you should be very cognizant that if anybody tries to get you to sign anything, like a release, just get up and walk away. That's my advice to you. Get up and walk away. Don't watch Danny Jones. Don't watch Julian Dory. These guys are douchebags, and they're probably controlled by the government.
If you reduce the overall diameter of the Tor -1, the field strength both in the Tor -1 and through the azimuth goes up exponentially.
Okay, so I just want to explain what he just said right there real quick, okay? So when he talks about Tor -1, he's talking about the torus. So he's saying that there's a torus, a donut, in the actual object that's creating a plasma field that's creating these orbs. But then they're also creating a bigger donut around the plane. They're taking the 3 donuts around the plane, and they're creating a field around that, a torus, a donut around it. That's why they're vertical. And then that's where they're going to shoot the plane backwards, warp the plane backwards. So that's what he's explaining when he says Tor -1, is that they're building a bigger donut from the smaller donuts, which is the individual orbs themselves. Pretty neat.
And this is...
Oh, and then he even points out Coulomb's law right here, which I did not catch on to originally. When they are converging, the energy levels are increasing exponentially. He didn't say Coulomb's law here, but if you go look it up, you'll find out that's what Coulomb's law is. As the distance between the charges decreases, the energy level increases exponentially. This is how we're getting to energy levels that are great enough to break the Schwinger limit and get to a nonlinear state.
Already experimentally proven. If we generally get accepted that this is technologically possible, we have the most incredible future ahead of us. Just the
Is this true? Okay, we'll finish this and we're going to go. Elon commented. Sham6, thank you. Let's find out.
Most incredible future. At this point, they seem to be tumbling the
most incredible future, Bob Greenier says, if this is true. He's right. The most incredible future. Thank you, FL. Appreciate you. Thank you, Sham6. Consider the lithium-ion battery was not fully packaged, but wired up. Energy-hungry beacon. There could be some other catalyst going on with the lithium-ion batteries, but I don't think we need it, and I just don't know is the true story. So we can't know everything about what's going on. A lot of people ask me about unknowable information, like what they do with the people afterwards, where they all go. It's like, guys, I'm not somebody who's going to tell you stuff I don't know. I can guess, but I really just don't know everything.
Monopoles. So it's not going forward. It's starting to rotate itself. And okay, do they align? Do they start to get into alignment?
Yeah, the orbs are the same.
Because what you want is the monopoles to have their own azimuth to produce a ring.
So when you say an azimuth, they're producing their own field. And this is why we see the gravitational lensing when they converge, where now that you can literally see that energy get to a point where you see a gravitational field essentially happen.
Create another Tor above, and then you pull these in, and that creates the unification of the forces at phase singularity of the -1 Tors. Look, okay, so they're pulling in at that point, right? That's exactly what you want. Right before, so they're rotating and pulling in. Okay? That is exactly what you would need to do, and boom, it disappears. And it goes in a flash.
Okay. So honestly, Bob Greener's analysis is crazy. Wait, okay. Yes, thank you, Johnny Cash. Guys, we've got to if Elon replied, we've got to go see. We got to see what's going on. Where did he reply? Ashton just got a response. Somebody posted. There it is, 7 minutes ago. Okay, well, here we go. I've needed no evidence of aliens. Okay, Elon, please, man. Please, Elon. There's no aliens in these damn videos, Elon. Oh my God, chat. Chat. Elon Musk finally comments in. I've seen no evidence of aliens. Elon, please, brother. What else do I say, chat? Okay, it's retweet time. It's retweet time. Guys, what do we do? What do we do? I'm panicking, guys. I'm panicking. Johnny Cash, thank you very much. What do we do? Guys, why he actually thinks there's aliens, guys? Which video do we show him, chat? Which video do we show him? Which video do we show him? Edward C. Lynn? What do we think we show him? Why are we talking about aliens, guys? There's no aliens in these videos, man. Okay, here we go, guys. Um, okay, that's good, right? Sorry, guys, I had to riff there. Hopefully, that wasn't too boring for you guys. What video do we post on here? Did I get anyone in the comments have any thoughts? Sorry. I'm just gonna post the short video. I'm gonna post the short snap. Let's do drone zap. Let's go with that. Post this. We need to get the evidence link so that he can see the evidence. Let me pull up. Should I give him the video evidence link? I'm going to do the video. No. We'll just do the Google Doc. Sorry for the side quest, guys, but I think you guys can realize how important this is. Finally got a statement from Elon Musk. Shit. I'll take a look at the questions in the chat once I get this Google Doc. Oh, actually, I just have the link to the evidence here. Also, guys, for people who have me on Discord, please don't send me DMs while I'm streaming. I will have to turn off direct messages if people keep abusing the direct messages. Imagine if Elon was watching this right now, how weird that would be. I just want Elon to look at the evidence. Just look at it. There we go. Okay, there we go. Let's go take a look in the chat, guys. Thank you. There was a couple more donations, I think. Death Proof Bum, appreciate you very much. How much energy are we talking about? So, with respect to the energy requirements of the videos, the Jack Sarfati would say that we don't need much energy to pull off this warping, and Salvatore Pius would say that we have essentially infinite energy, that we can amplify energy to a degree where we can break the Schwinger limit. So it could be either or both. I'm not 100% sure. This is the part where it's like you kind of got to weave between what the physicists say and what the engineers say in terms of what's possible there. That was me showing my resting face. Just post the MH370 song. Yeah, this is wild, guys. Okay, boy, this has gotten big. There's a lot of people watching all of a sudden too. God, aliens, man. Everybody wants to be aliens, man. It's like this is part of the problem, guys. So I think we're at the point where I'm going to make my statement actually here right now as well. So let me just, guys, if I missed your comment and you have a good comment, just repost it. I can't even keep up. Hodge twins replied to your reply. Okay, guys, I guess we're just doing Twitter all night tonight. Guess we're just doing Twitter all night. Yeah, rip my notifications, by the way. There's no way I'm going to be able to keep up my notifications at this point. No chance. Yes, thank you. Yes. Okay. How many debunkers do you think I'm gonna be posting here? Don't talk to this Ashton guy. Don't talk. How many debunkers do you think there are, bro? Look at how many people like are just sneaking into Elon's replies, dude. Look how many people are sneaking into his replies. It's wild. Oh, Elon Musk. Chat. Killing me, chat. He's killing me. Got Hodge twins in the replies. Thank you, T-Love. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for being in here tonight. Sorry we're getting a little bit sidetracked. Yeah, they can't hide this forever, man. This can't be hidden forever. This is going to come out. This is our technology. We are hiding it. It's not aliens in these videos. I haven't said it's aliens in these videos since like the first week I looked into this. Now, I had the same reaction Elon did. When I looked at these videos, I went, whoa, that's way too advanced. It's not. It's not. I've dug through it. I've dug through the history of the science. We've had this technology. We've been probably advancing for 80 years. The public is just blissfully unaware. We're using it because it's military supremacy and because it's potentially free energy. And you can imagine the implications of free energy. It's something they just don't want people to know about. You know how simple it was to hide it? All they had to do was rewrite Maxwell's equations and just never tell anybody that we simplified the equations too much and we got rid of the scalar part. That's all we had to do. Once we did that, we blinded ourselves to what we were capable of. Now, people wonder, we see gravity waves. We literally see gravity waves with LIGO. Why can we not produce them? You tell me that. Why can we not produce gravity waves if we can literally measure them and see them? We have to be able to. And people go, yeah, well, we've got to be able to do it. It's just too advanced. It's not. That's not how science works. That's not how discoveries work. Anything that is a law of nature, we can understand it. We can understand it. Craig Chase, thank you very much, man. Potatoes, what is life without a little salt? No. Yeah, appreciate you, man. Guys, how many messages are there? Whoa. Healthy D Live, appreciate you. He's seen no evidence of aliens, just black projects domestically. Yeah, guys, you don't need aliens to explain anything we see in these videos. You don't need aliens. You know, some people have this, and I've seen this argument. A lot of people will come at me early on and go, why don't you think this is aliens? Why don't you think it's aliens? Because we don't need aliens to explain anything. I've figured out how it works. Macroscopic phase conjugation. It's fully explainable. Fully explainable. And people get so mad, and their arguments would be, well, it's got to be aliens because it's not understandable. So therefore, it's got to be aliens. No, it is understandable. That's the thing about it. Okay. Whew. Okay, I guess it's a good time to make my statements that I wanted to talk about real quick, and then we can shift over. Man, we're already an hour in. I didn't want to go this late. Okay. Here's the thing. Actually, this is a great segue to it. So here we go. Let me switch this timer, 112. So I might want to clip this later on. So when you look at the MH370 videos, there is an ontological shock that occurs for anyone who looks at them. Elon Musk just experienced it right now. He looked at those videos and he immediately thought it must be aliens without looking at any of the evidence related to or anything that I've ever said. If you've been following me, you know I have not been saying that this is aliens. I have been saying that not only do we have this technology, I've been talking to the engineers and scientists who have been corroborating that information directly on my Hard Truths podcast, and you can watch it. The intelligence community and the people hiding this technology did not think that this would happen. They thought that everybody would act like Elon Musk just acted and that we would not think that this is possible to be real and that we must just think it's aliens. They never expected somebody would come along and dig into the case and the videos, MH370 videos, as much as I have, to look into it to figure out that this is actually our technology. That I would go so far as to try to figure out how the science worked. Because nobody does that. But I did. I said, you know what? If this is real, I'm going to figure out how it works. And we did do that as well. The intelligence community that hides this depends upon people being asleep and not waking up and not looking at the hard evidence and the facts. That's what they depend upon in order for us to never figure out that this science is possible and real. This is how they've been able to hide it for decades. For decades. I don't know how long we've been able to warp an airplane, but it's at least 10 years from now, since these videos from 2014, probably a lot older than that as well. What I'm doing here is I am waking people up. I am waking people up to the fact that this is not aliens, that this is our technology, and that we actually have the capability to warp gravity and warp space-time itself. The people like AARO, who I have reported this case to, are backed into a corner. I've given them verifiable evidence that we have a drone and a satellite staring at MH370 in the agreed-upon location of the plane on March 7th around 1840 UTC in 2014. It's verifiable. I gave them the leaker of the videos as well, Lieutenant Commander Edward C. Lin. They can look into any of these things, and they will definitively figure out that these videos are real and that we filmed this plane in some type of operation or rescue maneuver. I don't know exactly. I leave that to you guys to determine. what I'm doing, I am not discovering anything I'm not a scientist. I'm not discovering any new science that's out there. If anything, I just looked through history and I looked at the history of the engineers and scientists who were already defense contractors and engineers. And I found out that it's already out there. All we need to do, Elon, all you need to do is wake up. Wake up. You're asleep. You're not realizing what we're actually capable of. Look at Maxwell's equations. Realize that when Oliver Heaviside rewrote them, he took out the capability to measure the stress in the medium. What is stress in the medium of the vacuum of space-time? Gravity. Gravity. I'm going to demonstrate it for you guys right now. You take the equations and you cancel out the forces on both sides. Does that mean that there's nothing left? No. How do I prove that? I'm going to do a very little amount of force. The middle here is canceled out, the two equal and opposite forces on either side. I take a medium amount of force, same thing, still canceling itself out. A lot of force, still canceling itself out. If I were to pull any harder, this rubber band is going to rip because of the stress in the medium of the rubber band. This is exactly what Oliver Heaviside wrote out of the Maxwell equations. The stress in the medium of the electromagnetics is gravity manipulation. Gravity manipulation is stress in the medium, like taking a squishy ball and stressing it. You rip it, now you're going to have a gravitational effect occur. You're going to see what we see in the MH370 videos, which is a wormhole. By definition, is a wormhole. That's what we're looking at. This is only possible if there is an ether, if there's a negative entropy zone or dimension higher level than what we are able to perceive. That is just nothingness, if you were to think of that. But it's not. It's better than nothingness because it's potentially an unlimited source of energy. We are going to rewrite the law of conservation of energy. Yes, you heard me. We are going to rewrite the law of conservation of energy. We're going to add probably an energy to it or negative energy, some other type of equation to it, which is going to allow us to cheat the law of conservation of energy. And we are going to re-understand the laws of thermodynamics. The idea that you cannot get more energy out of a system you put in, sure, that's fine. Got my system here. We're going to cheat it. We're going to open that system up. We're going to allow the extraction of energy from the outside. This is going to allow us to produce more energy out than we put in. Coefficient of performance greater than 1, also equivalent to over unity. Those are my statements, guys. Hope you appreciated them. I will clip that later. Wait, what? The Black Vault has received their AARO FOIA requests on Ashton? What does that mean? Wait, is this real? Is that Black Vault has me blocked. John Greenwald has me blocked. Did they actually FOIA me? Guys, this might get real spicy. The AARO is actually backed into a corner. They're going to have to make a statement about these videos. Do you think that they're going to gaslight us? If the AARO comes back and gaslights us, I'm going to play the videos in the background right now. If they try to gaslight us, I have so much evidence. I will destroy the AARO if they gaslight us. And I have the guy I talked to was a nice guy. I have no reason to believe that he is. We might have red pilled the AARO. The people in the AARO probably didn't even know this kind of stuff is possible. They've probably never gotten evidence like this ever. They would just get people coming to them like this Jason Sands guy going, I saw a blue alien and I want to testify. Cool, man. Great. Or in the case of Eric Hecker, who his claims aren't even that crazy. He's been like, yo, we've got crazy stuff going on in Antarctica. And they go, okay, well, we're not going to go subpoena Raytheon or anything like that. We're not going to go dig into Antarctica. For me, I go, you don't need to dig into anything. Here's the evidence. This is an MQ-1C Gray Eagle. The other one's our Sibbers video. And the guy that leaked his name is Lieutenant Commander Edward C. Lynn. His lawyers said that the classified information in question is available on the internet. Well, hey, we're on the internet right now, and we're looking at two of the craziest videos ever. And it coincides with his time on the VPU-2 Squadron spy plane within 1 month, by the way. Gets assigned February 2014, and then he starts getting investigated April 2nd, 2014. Guys, he's the guy, man. He's the guy. I've given you the guy who leaked the videos. Like, what more do people actually want? Two of the most high-quality videos ever. Nobody's saying it's aliens. Just look at this orb that you're staring at on your screen right now. There's no aliens flying around in this little orb. It's a plasma field. This is plasma physics, plasma science, also known as what we need for cold fusion to happen, low energy nuclear reactions. This is why Bob Grenier is the expert. I just showed the video of it. I should have just put the video of Bob Grenier in the reply. Whoa, Jake, you got to chill out with the donations, brother. I appreciate you, though. Jake, Gravorgian, Jake Gravorgian. Keep up the great work, Ashton. Sending you brotherly love through the ether. Appreciate you, man. Really, really appreciate you. You guys have been on fire tonight. This has been already a crazy stream. We had Elon Musk reply. We had the Hodge twins retweeting us. The AARO is getting backed into a corner. Things are getting nuts, chat. Things are getting straight up nuts. I imagine that, guys, and let's just predict. I'm going to play the other satellite video here, the highest quality satellite video for people in the background. What does the intelligence community even do at this point? They've got to be panicking their asses off. They're about to have the biggest conspiracy in the history of the world unravel in their face. President Obama might be implicated in this, guys. President Obama. I was actually a President Obama supporter. He might be implicated in one of the biggest cover-ups in the history of the world. And there's other ones that are probably big, but none with this much evidence. Just video evidence, literally leaker that we've identified. I mean, if I'm the intelligence community, I'm panicking. I'm taking this video because they have this video, and I'm getting my AI in there to start wiping the orbs out. And I'm getting ready to say, yeah, we were tracking the plane. We just forgot to tell everybody. We just didn't want to give away our surveillance capabilities. And then I'm going to find some patsy to say that, oh, I made this video, and have them come out. And if they do that, I've already called it. I'm going to destroy that person. So intelligence community, if that's your play, it's not going to work. I will destroy that person. So don't do that. Come up with something else. You know what? I would even compromise at this point and just be like, just admit that we stole the plane. Just say that you remote controlled it to Diego Garcia. Just say you remote controlled it to Diego Garcia. I'll come out and be like, yeah, that's fine. That's good enough. I don't care as long as I know the technology is real. There's a lot of normie brain people out there that are never going to be able to accept the technology to be real. That's fine. Everybody else here will know the technology is real. Everybody that I've talked to. And that's fine. The rest of the normie people can just go on believing that we just stole the plane and we remote controlled it. That's believable. People will believe that. So intelligence community, that's your play. Just fess up. Say no one's going to get punished. There's going to be no punishment for this. People will be outraged, but there'll be no real punishment. That's how the real world works. So just do that. Just admit we stole it. Say we stole it because of the Freescale Semiconductor employees. That's the real reason. Give the real reason on why. And, that way we'll say it was espionage, that China was, just tell the truth. China was trying to steal these guys. We said no. So we remote controlled the plane. And then people were like, well, what do you do with the passengers? I don't know. You guys got to come up with an answer for that. I'm not going to be the one to explain to people what we did with those passengers. As my buddy Dave from the Alien Addict podcast would say, we probably gave them the special pancakes, have a bite, go to sleep, don't wake up, whatever. People are sheep. Absolutely, Scott. People are fucking sheep. I don't know what else to say. I've talked about Amy Eskridge. Amy Eskridge's soul is with us right now. She is with us right now. It's like, I don't know if you've ever seen this movie Angels in the Outfield. Probably it's from the 90s, so it probably predates a lot of you guys. That's us saying that there's an angel with you. Amy Eskridge is definitely with us right now. And so is Thomas Bearden, 100%. I truly believe that. The people that came before us that tried to get this information out, that tried to tell the truth about the technology, that were silenced, that realized the weight, the David versus Goliath situation that was going on, they're with us right now. This is why it was so hard for them. This is why potentially Amy committed suicide. Because you look at the situation and you see hopelessness. You go, no one will wake up. I can't wake anybody up. You got Elon Musk thinks that we're looking at aliens in here. You can't wake people up. I just need people to look. Just look with your eyes and realize what you're seeing there is real. And then work through the evidence that I've already provided and realize that we're not looking at aliens, that we've been suppressing this technology for decades. Anti-gravity scientists have been trying to get people to look at it. And nobody will. Nobody will look at it. Nobody will give this evidence the time of day that it deserves. So if you're out there and you want to give the evidence the time of day, I'm happy to talk about it. I will answer every single question that's possible about MH370, everything I know about the science and the technology. Because that's what we have to do. We just have to keep talking about it, and we have to not stop talking. That's the truth. That's what the letter to Ashton Forbes said. In fact, we're going to play the letter to Ashton Forbes right now. Let me get it up. Guys, this is 11 minutes long, and we're going to dig into the warp drive stuff after this. We're just going to keep going tonight. We're going to keep going. We got Elon Musk replying. We're going to keep going. I want to show the world the truth here. This is the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me in my life. Weirder than warp drive capability. A letter to me on a random YouTube account that was started like 3 days before the letter. It's called A Letter to Ashton Forbes, written in an AI voice that I didn't even think was possible. With AI capabilities and voice capabilities where you can hear the breath of the AI voice. When you hear the word deflector, realize that we're probably listening to somebody who's not a native English speaker speaking through a voice changer that is mishearing the words that they're saying because of their accent. So I want you guys to just understand that context there as well. Because everybody freaks out and goes, why does it say deflector? Why does it say deflector? Okay, so here we go. Let's watch this. And when you listen to this, find the lie. Try to find the lie in this video. That's what I want you guys to try to do. Because I've listened to this video probably 50 times, and I can't find the lie. I can't find out what they're lying about at all in this video. This video is big part of the reason why I moved away from the rescue scenario to the espionage scenario. Because this letter makes my skin crawl. It makes the hair on my arms stand up straight. It's somebody is talking directly to me in this letter. Who would make this with the amount of detail that you are going to hear here? It is freaky. Here we go.
Sent to us the 8th of January of 2024. It's a letter to an Ashton Forbes telling a new story of what happened to Malaysian Airlines MH370 that disappeared back in 2014.
Okay, I'm going to start drinking because I can't get through this without drinking. This thing is just so crazy. Here we go.
And as always, don't trust what you read on the news. Trust your own capability to see the world for what it really is. Here we go.
I work or have worked at a military base in the Maldives, and I know exactly what happened to Malaysian Airlines MH370. This is also a letter to Ashton Forbes. You are not wrong, and what you do are much bigger than you even can imagine. Don't stop what you are doing. I won't tell anything about myself more than that I currently or in the past has spent time at a military base in the Maldives. That I have done this type of work since I joined the military when I was young, and that was many decades ago. Still in the game, but the years are starting to get to me. I write this because I want the world to know that most of the trouble on Earth are created for political reasons. United States, or at least a covert administrative elite of the U.S., has, at will, complete control, and this has been true since the 60s. Flight MH370 arrived at our base, by our hand, at 1856 UTC after we picked it up, mid-air, outside the island of Great Nicobar. Just one of many, many things we do. We can pick up anything, anywhere, and deliver it in an instant, like a magic FedEx. Some facts about why it happened. MH370 had defectors on board. They were running to China with American technology. They are Chinese by blood and had gotten themselves into a situation with the Chinese regime who got them to choose to defect. The whole play, everything, and I mean everything about it, was a political play to show the Chinese who's their daddy. That's us. Some facts about how it happened. All passengers are dead, all but the handful of deflectors. The plane did not crash. The plane was on fire, we know because we started it. The plane was picked up by us, on fire, mid-air, right in front of the Chinese. The Chinese regime knows exactly what happened, and that was the whole point of the operation. Okay, this is what I want to share with you. As I said, I have been doing this for a long time. I know the technology and have been a part of hundreds of operations. So let's start with the tech. The foundation is not superconductivity. Superconductivity is a product of the technology. We have had this since the 1960s, and from that first day we have used it to make sure that no one else can have it. The big breakthrough to apply the tech as we do today came in the beginning of the 2000s with quantum computers, and by this, the paradigm for AI technology. What we had to do programmatically before, we now can do with something akin to machine intuition. This lets us operate in fast-moving environments where event-based logic in linear programming was very limited. As I said, what you have found is not the technology itself, it's just one of many derivatives of the technology. I encourage you to keep on with what you are doing, but you should also be aware that there is a deeper layer that you could focus on instead of the Miami aliens that I see you have been posting about. I will give you some pointers for this at the end of this letter. The products or application you are now working on is correctly based on superconductivity. The number of orbs you've been speculating about is correct. The fourth orb decides where the object ends up. The technology is based on structures, simple and beautiful structures that lets us use the unlimited power that is everywhere and step outside what I would like to describe as perceived reality. The structure that is used for what you are looking at is a metastructure that creates a low complexity and relative low energy phase transition. The beauty of this technology lies in its elegance and simplicity. The structures are inherently stable and self-regulating, and the earlier challenges to conduct operations were 100% based on the limits of man. With the same technology, just a slightly altered monostructure gives us an infinite power generator that without maintenance can run forever. Combine structures to a meta product again, and you have the propulsion for a transmedium object moving faster than light. It's the definition of magic. There are endless applications, and the truth is that it would change the world in an instant. But that won't happen. I bet yourself, or at least most of your audience, have heard a version of the story that the aliens are here and they want to bless us with new, clean, and revolutionary technology, but we are a too young and rowdy civilization and would not be able to be responsible enough with the gifts from them. That's probably made up, but that is at the same time completely true. It's just not aliens saying this. It's us again. The technology is infinite in its power, and if two rivaling parties had access to it, this world wouldn't last a day. The same technology, with a combination of monostructures, makes a terrifying weapon that turns any matter into dust, and that dust turns into air. It does not matter if the object is a small bird or an aircraft carrier. It cannot be stopped. It does not miss. And when the object has been hit, the phasing cannot be stopped. Okay, so back to MH370. We knew about the deflectors as soon as they made their decision. Well before that, but then they weren't deflectors. Anyway, we knew when, how, and why back in December, and as we do, we made it into politics. We let them go. We took them back and sent the Chinese a clear message of who is in control. And we did this with a brilliantly produced show that is fit for a Hollywood production. Any good movie has fire, desperation, regret, and drama. And every movie villain should see their plan fall apart. And in really good movies, just when the villain has accepted that the plan has failed, the heroes of the movie steps in and makes it worse. This is what happened. As soon as we knew what plane was the last leg of their journey, we planned and delivered, so the plane was loaded up with lithium-ion batteries, built by us for this occasion. Lithium-ion batteries cannot be put out, has a predictable burn rate, and we made sure that the volume was just right for a long burn that would allow for a full-length show. The Chinese were following the plane since it was on the tarmac and got to see their most close-to-success operation go up in flames. And just as all hope was lost, we made it worse. Right in front of their eyes, 2 hours and 13 minutes in, they saw the plane get phased out of there by the same technology they were trying to get access to. And 5 days later, the Chinese officially made a gesture of submissiveness by publishing a frame from the satellite of the phase moment via the State Administration for Science. The publishing was talked about in American newspapers as a possible debris field. But when you know what you are looking at, it's clear what the frame shows. The aftermath. During the 5 days after the show, the Chinese found out about the batteries, that we both made and placed them on the plane. They accepted that we have been playing with them the whole time and at the same time could accept that the people they had convinced to deflect did what they wanted. It was us that stopped them. The deflectors had a good corrective experience when it comes to staying loyal and were back on the job as usual, but with a new understanding both of their importance and the consequences of their actions. What was nothing more than another Friday at the office for the administrative elite, 200 people had the most confusing death experience you could imagine. 1,500 people lived a tragedy, losing family members in a mystery, and 10,000s spent months searching and millions speculating for years. Then in 2014, military footage of the event got published on YouTube. Not our problem. The person responsible for the leak was identified and taken care of. Not by us, not our problem. Then came you. Hi, Ashton. Impressive. This is what I want to leave you with. There was a guest on the Joe Rogan podcast that was talking about sacred geometry and some new technology his friends had discovered on some island somewhere. He did record another episode, but it never been published. Doesn't the wording sacred geometry remind you of something? If you choose to spend time on this, which I think you should instead of mall aliens, keep in mind that your case is one product of the technology. What happens on the other island, you will understand this if you pursue it, is another more rudimentary product. What if those in combination could lead you on the right path to the actual technology? The gray-bearded man is the key, and he probably has no idea that he is. Finally, I want to say this. How do you defeat someone who can turn skyscrapers to dust, completely erase whole neighborhoods in an afternoon, and steal a burning Boeing 777 midair? Someone who, when needed, has the complete control of all media and crafts the perception of events and has most of humanity eating from its hands. After almost a full life in their service, I think I know the answer. You talk about them, and you don't stop talking.
Holy crap, chat.
Good night, my friends.
It never stops freaking me out. That video never stops freaking me out. Even now, that freaks me out. You guys realize, first thing I want you guys know is I did not make that video. I have nothing to do with that video. Just so you understand how freaky it is to me, where somebody's sending me a direct message. Whoever sent me that is watching closely. They posted facts. If you think that's fake, guys, I've listened to that video more than anybody. I know this case more than anybody on the planet. That person knows as much as I do. They know stuff that I don't know. Like the exact time we phased out the plane 2 hours and 13 minutes after it took off, which is 1843 UTC. They also mentioned the same thing about the satellite images where I say this looks like spycraft. And they're going, yep, that's spycraft. It's too weird, man. I played that video multiple times on my YouTube channel without letting anybody know what I was doing because I wanted to see if they copyright striked me. I just played the whole video, just like I did right there. They never copyright striked me. I get copyright striked for posting a 1-minute video of Joe Rogan on my YouTube channel. I played an 11-minute video, and they even have a thing saying that this is copyrighted on one of their later videos. And they never copyright striked me, not once. So if they were doing it for clout or money or whatever, mission not accomplished. Thank you very much, Truth is Treason, for the donation. So, and I told literally not a soul in the world that that's what I was doing, because I thought maybe it could be somebody in my Discord or something like that. Nothing. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Chadwell, thank you very much as well. Appreciate you guys. I'm gonna have to say this because I'm getting more donations today than I would have ever expected. But if you need your money, please do not donate it to me. Although I appreciate it, you don't need to do that if you want my attention. I want people to have their own money, and I'm not doing this for the money. I still, at this point, have a job. But yeah, so thank you guys. I don't know what this means. So if somebody knows what this acronym means, please let me know. Let me know in the chat. Yeah, I think that if that video doesn't freak you out, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's pretty weird. It's pretty weird. So the person they're talking about in that video, people posted, it is Randall Carlson that went on Joe Rogan. I didn't even know who he was before that video. And it turns out he was talking about Malcolm Bendel. Malcolm Bendel was hanging out with Bob Greenyer when that video dropped. Malcolm Bendel was in the Maldives for the last 7 years working on plasmoid research. The two things that we need for these videos, superconductors, superconductive microchips, ball lightning plasma. Those are the two things. The videos literally talks about both of them. Talks about superconductivity, talks about the free-scale semiconductor engineers and scientists, and it talks about Malcolm Bendel, who's working on the thunderstorm generator, which we think is cold fusion. Pulling off fusion with plasmoids. The coincidences, guys, I try not to see the synchronicities in life, but what the hell? Bob Greenyer, the guy that we just analyzed this video earlier on this stream, was hanging out with Malcolm Bendel on the day when that video dropped, when they're telling me to try to get in touch with Malcolm Bendel. Seems like you have to know a lot of information and be some kind of super stalker to make that video. A lot of people thought, oh, well, I could make that video, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Somebody tried to make a fake version of it called Nick Obar, and I can't even make it 30 seconds into the fake version. It's so bad. That's the difference between like an AI video that's shitty versus like that was somebody reading off a script. That was an AI producing that. They were reading off a script into an AI voice changer, and that voice that we've heard, we found it being used in a lot of different promotional material. It's like some kind of standard AI voice that they converted it to. If you are trying to send a message to somebody, that's a really good way to do it, especially anonymously where there's no paper trail. You use a bunch of VPNs, you set up a YouTube channel, you send a message out there, you buffer it with some other stuff that's out there. I mean, I will never talk about mall aliens for the rest of my life. I will never talk about some mall aliens in Miami ever again after that video. That's how crazy it is. They wanted me to not stop talking about these videos. Message received, my man. Message received. I tried to get Joe Rogan to watch that video. I don't think he has. Anyone who watches that video, if you are a podcaster out there, please watch that video. Please realize the crazy shit that's going on in my life right now. I've been scammed by debunkers out of $3,000. I've had people make fake debunks. I've had people falsely try to come forward and say that they made the videos and then have their story fall apart. I've had this weird letter happen to me. I've talked to some of the smartest scientists and engineers on the planet that literally work with the Navy and the DoD on this kind of technology. And some of them, like Dave Rossi, literally admit he thinks the videos are real and he's seen these experiments in the lab, in private labs, in the special access programs, guys. What more do you need? The issue is not that we have to invent some new science. We just have to get people to listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. So, I'm not going to go through. Guys, I address the debunks like every single day. So if you are not familiar with the debunks that are out there, like I address the debunks almost every single day. You can just look back through my Twitter and you will find all my stuff out there. I can't just keep doing it every single time. The debunkers have never once in the history of this case ever addressed the evidence I put forth. I want you to understand the difference in the levels. For the debunkers, they perpetually lie and keep pushing fake debunks, and I address them every single time and explain why they're not true. And I explain why they're not true, and they don't address the fact that I explain why they're not true. Because it's disinformation. Their goal is just to get people to think the videos are fake. Their goal isn't to have a rational, logical debate. The guy that's came up with multiple debunks, Mick West, has refused to even debate me on a podcast 4 times because he knows he'll get absolutely destroyed in front of anybody against me. He knows it. Their goal is not to try to have logical, fact-based arguments. The debunkers' goal is to try to get people to stop looking at the videos and to try to get people to think that they're fake. That's their only goal. I've addressed all their arguments conclusively. There is no cloud picture in these videos. It's a 3D rendered environment. You can't have a picture. There's accurate 3D lighting. We have full 3D volumetric clouds. The clouds move and evolve. That's all been proven. It's not debatable. It's been proven. There's no pyromania VFX in it. You don't modify stock assets to the extreme that would be required to change it to a completely different event, which is what the debunkers argue. Every debunk has been addressed. There's no jittery contrails. That was just from the stabilization software that they used. They've never addressed any of the evidence that I put forth. Just let me repeat that. The debunkers have never addressed any of the evidence I put forth. All I have to do to prove the videos are real is say that the satellite coordinates in the satellite video predate the raw telemetry data by 9 days. And it's the real location of the plane. That's absolute proof right there. You shouldn't need anything more than that. And that's a drop in the bucket to the evidence that I've produced, including 2 videos, 19 witnesses, one which was there in the location of the Nicobar Islands when this happened within minutes, and the leakers of the videos. This is not like the standard of evidence between the debunkers and the proof is just so out of control. Like, you have to be just completely delusional to not realize that we're looking at real videos here. Okay, so I posted a link to that video. I closed it. If you just Google a letter to Ashton Forbes, you should be able to find it. It's by like Creepy Real Stories. I did post that as well in the chat here, but I don't know where it's at now. Hey, Steven, thank you very much, man. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, the momentum is building because these videos aren't going away, man. Steven's good guy. AJX, I saw in the, or AXJ, or wait, AJX, right? All the other podcasters who've had me on that are really good guys. I appreciate you. Steven was one of the people that tried to set up a debate between me and Mick West. Mick West backed out of it. Investigate Earth also tried. Multiple people tried. At this point, I have no interest in debating them anymore. They've had like 5 chances, 4 or 5 chances. Never do. People also tried to set up a debate with the Skyfire News people. They said they would bring their scientists. I was going to bring my scientists. They never showed up to that either. Yeah. I mean, I think that the reality here, guys, is that these videos, and I mean, you know what? I'm going to play them again. Oh, I'll play them again, chat. They break people's minds because if these videos are real, then it means their lives have been a lie. And my life too, you know, all of our lives for the most part. But yeah, if these videos are real, and that's why they can't believe them to be true, because if the government pulls off something like this, then it proves that the government does some sketchy conspiracy stuff. And that's why people simply refuse. No matter how strong the weight of the evidence is, people refuse to believe it no matter what. It just doesn't matter for a lot of people out there. There's AXJ. Okay, I said your name incorrectly. Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. And I guess I'll just do a quick shout out as well to the Confessionals podcast, to Alpha Warrior, to the Alpha Vets. Guys, I have a list that's like a mile long. The Phone Booth podcast, Elijah Schaefer, the Liberty Lockdown, Tim Pool, the one I was just on, which was The Blaze with Pat Unleashed earlier today, Redacted. Check out the Redacted. If you don't believe this is real, just check out the Redacted podcast, man. Just check out the Redacted podcast. The Redacted podcast should be enough. I think it's the most concise podcast with one of the smartest people, Clayton Morris. So check that out, guys. I do want to dig into the warp drive stuff here as well, even though we got kind of sidetracked on this. Did Elon Musk chime in on my reply? $40,000 views on this. Well, whatever. 40,000 views in under an hour on that post about it to Elon. So he's going to see it. He's going to see it. Hopefully he watches this. I'm going to clip this as well for tomorrow, the piece that I said, so that people see it. Devos, wow. Thank you very much, man. Huge donation. Guys, you guys are going wild. Yeah, also, just go ahead and like the stream on the YouTube channel if you're watching on YouTube. We've got 3,000 people watching on X. We've got 400 in the YouTube. Tom Montauk, guys, if you want to understand the science, I'm going to show the warp drive stuff here in a second. If you want to understand the science of electrical engineering and scalar physics, watch the Tom Montauk interview that I did live like a week ago on my YouTube channel. Just go to my live streams, find Tom Montauk, watch that. It will blow your mind. Incredibly smart guy. We had a very high level science conversation. You know, that and the redacted will, I think, convince everybody out there. We even talk about how the Maxwell equations were incorrectly written, how scalar physics works, what the capabilities are of it, scalar interferometry. Nobody has to believe anything. Nobody has to believe anything about what I'm saying. I'm not out here trying to do any kind of cult where you have to believe me. I'm not a messiah or anything like that. I'm just presenting the evidence to you, trying to get people to wake up and take a look at it yourselves. So, yeah, everybody should be pissed off about this stuff. People are broke. They're sick. They're paying huge amounts of money at the grocery. They can't even afford food because we have such high inflation. And we're hiding free energy from people. You should be pissed off. It's ridiculous. These videos show that not only can we warp a plane, but that we're hiding free energy from the public. For what reason? So that the elites can maintain more power over us? It's ridiculous. That's why I do this. That's why just being honest here, probably not going to live to die of old age. Probably just not going to, like I'm pissing off probably a lot of people out there, a lot of defense contractors, a lot of people that have a lot to lose, a lot of people who lose money, as well as a lot of people might face criminal liability, although I don't think they will. Even if this is true, I think that nothing will happen to anybody. But yeah, you know what? I don't give a shit. I just don't give a shit anymore because these videos are real. People need to realize it, and people need to wake the hell up. Wake up, man. So here we go. Let's take a look at this. Okay. God, I have 300 notifications. Sorry, I'm probably not going to get to my DMs, my notifications tonight. If anyone's interested, I don't think I'm going to have enough time. Here we go. Where are we going to start? Okay, I've got all the things up here ready to go. We are going to start with, should we go backwards? Yeah, let's go backwards. Let's start with ER equals EPR. Okay, so how is any of this possible? First thing is you need to understand Einstein-Rosen bridge wormhole is equivalent to EPR, Einstein-Podolsky-Rosen, which is quantum entanglement. So here's a paper right here, scientific paper by Lewis K. Kaufman talking about entanglement topology and tensor networks, stress tensor networks. So this is where he's talking about the equivalence between the two. I'm not going to go through the whole paper on this one. I just want to show you. This paper is from, let me take a look at the PDF. I think it was 2022. Yeah, 2022, March 2022. So this science is recent. Now, ER equals EPR is by Leonard Susskind and Juan Maldacena. Both are very intelligent physicists. And this is their hypothesis, suggestion that connectivity in space-time is equivalent to quantum entanglement. So this is the idea that the ether connects all points in space and time. Because in the ether, the speed of light is not constant anymore. It can be maybe infinite. Tesla said he measured the speed of light in the ether at 50 times its normal speed of light. This presents the idea of entanglement of everything that we see around us. This is how we can achieve a wormhole. The ether is the answer to everything that we need here. It's the answer to everything. That's why the ether is real. We're bringing the ether back. So the next one I want to show you guys is humanly traversable wormholes. Yes, you read that right. I think they're missing an E on here, but humanly traversable wormholes. Who is it by? Look, Juan Maldacena, the same exact guy who has the ER equals EPR science. So I'll give you the summary of this paper. Essentially, it says that we can produce wormholes, that you can actually go through a wormhole and it's not going to rip you to shreds, that the gravitational force will not rip you to shreds, and it says we need negative energy to keep the wormhole open. Now, I've talked to my smart scientist and engineer friends, including Dave Rossi, and they say that we can achieve a certain electromagnetic effect that is essentially the equivalent of the negative energy that we need in order to keep this wormhole open. So we have the paper right here. that talks about that we can actually achieve a wormhole, and a wormhole is functionally equivalent to warp drive. We're creating a bubble around us in space-time. Now, you imagine the bubble. Well, that's a wormhole. When you're in the bubble, you're not in space-time anymore. So you need to go through it. The mouth of the wormhole is what we see in the event, this black event, this dark absorption of energy. The things inside are disappearing, and it's going to show up somewhere else. The extra dimension is not a location where you go and you're hanging out in the negative, the nega universe or whatever it is, like the anti-universe. It's not like Bizarro U is out there. The ether, the extra dimension, is just our ability to connect all points in space and time. So there you go. Let's take a look. We point out that there can be humanly traversable wormhole solutions in some previously considered theories for physics beyond the standard model, namely the Randall-Sundrum model. Now, I'm not going to dig into all this, but I think I gave you the kind of summary there. If Juan Maldacena is watching this right now, I would tell him he's a genius. So is Leonard Susskind. The only thing they didn't realize is that the ether is real. That's the answer to all their problems. The way that we can warp an object is because we need the ether that will solve the negative energy issue, that will allow us to produce a wormhole. Magic is now real, guys. So there you go. I'm going to have a sip of my drink here, and then we'll go on to the next one. As you can see from the top of my tabs, we got several to go through here tonight. Yeah. So Tucker says UFOs are spiritual and people go crazy, but this is just a nothing burger. No one pays any attention. I'm literally out here talking about how warp drive is possible, showing the scientific papers, showing videos of it actually happening 10 years ago, and nothing. Absolute silence. We can't even get Elon Musk to take it seriously. Elon Musk thinks we're looking at aliens here. You guys see the hurdle that we have to get over here. We have to wake people up to let them know we don't need aliens to explain this. This is not some unknowable science. The science is out there. Hell, maybe Elon Musk needs to hire me on SpaceX, and I'll pull together a group of physicists and engineers, and we will produce this. We will obsolete all the conventional rockets. We will produce electrogravitic rockets that require no chemical propulsion whatsoever. And I'll give him the rockets that he wants. We can fly to Mars. We probably can get to Mars within seconds with this kind of with a wormhole. So there you go. And the best part is we'll just make some orbs, and we'll have the orbs spin around the object that we want. And the object can just be like, it could even just be some kind of floaty like pod, and you just be in the pod, and then we'll just warp the pod to Mars, and then the pod will just land, and then you'll have your pod on Mars. There you go. Boom. Crazy, huh? Yeah, if people also don't realize this is real, just literally go look up Thomas Bearden. When I was talking to Jesse the other day, I was saying, hey, look up Thomas Bearden. Like he did Thomas Townsend Brown, look up Thomas Bearden. Tesla was right. All the textbooks in the United States are wrong. Based on Elon's response on the aliens, he does not know what's going on. I'm now sure that's all I needed to see. Elon does not know what's going on in the black budget programs. Here's the crazy part, guys. A lot of people, even in the military, it's not like everybody knows about this. It's secret above, it's top secret, above top secret, compartmentalized, which means that only people on a need-to-know basis know. The engineers that know sign NDAs every time they go into the lab. They go to prison if they talk about it in too much depth or get killed. Elon has no idea that this is going on. He has no idea. That's the truth. And that's how I could tell. The moment I saw him thinking it was aliens, he has no idea. No idea. He's a smart guy that realizes that the physics is catching up to this, but he doesn't realize we've already figured it out for decades. For decades. And that's, you know, it's like Eric Weinstein. Eric Weinstein going, if they're hiding this stuff, I'm going to sharpen my pitchforks. Eric Weinstein, sharpen your pitchfork, bruh. Sharpen that pitchfork. Get your tiki torches out because they're hiding the physics from you. Conservation of energy is going to get rewritten. Get ready for it. Okay, next one. Teleportation physics study by Eric W. Davis. Okay, Why is there a 2004 teleportation physics study by physicist, government DoD physicist Eric W. Davis? Oh, I wasn't even sharing it. There you go. Now you can see it. Eric Davis, my opinion of Eric Davis is he's one of the gatekeepers. I think he has no problem lying to people. He knows it's real. He's not writing teleportation physics studies without knowing that this stuff is possible. And I think that we probably had it figured out around 2004, maybe a little bit after that, not sure. But he was writing this paper for a reason. Air Force Research Laboratory. Guys, Space Force didn't even exist back then. I think we created the Space Force because we have literal warp drive. It explains everything. It explains UFOlogy. It explains why Trump randomly is like, oh, it's Space Force time. And everyone's like, what? Why do we need a Space Force? Because we have literal warp drive. We've been talking about it for 20 years. This paper is 20 years old. By the Air Force. Edwards Air Force Base. Special report. It's just hidden in plain sight, guys. It's just all hidden in plain sight. These are the people that pay the big money to do the big science. So you have two choices. Either you think that we are just paying physicists to come up with fake science and do real reports on fake science, or this is real and we've already had it figured out since 2004. If you are my mods, then yeah, boot the guy who's trolling or whatever. Doesn't matter. I've got him blocked, so I don't see any of this stuff. But yeah, if you see people trolling too hard, mods, just take care of the situation. I don't care. I'm not in the mood. Okay, so the part on this that I want to show you guys, and here's all the official stuff if you care. But I'm not going to dig through the whole papers here. You guys can see them for yourselves. I've shown you what the sources are here as well. The one that matters is that he goes through all the different types of physics, all the different types of teleportation. And this is important because we're not dealing with dematerialization here. So let's go through them. This is the only page I'm going to read to you guys. This is probably the only one we need. Hopefully you guys can put this together. Teleportation sci-fi. The disembodiment transport of persons or inanimate objects across space by advanced futuristic technological means. We will call this SF teleportation, which will not be considered further in this study. We are not talking about dematerialization and rematerialization. That's sci-fi. There is no dematerialization and rebuilding each atom. This is the same problem with cloning. Even if you were to clone somebody, you are not going to be able to clone who they were. This is why you can't dematerialize somebody and rematerialize someone. So we're not looking at sci-fi's teleportation here. Teleportation psychic. The conveyance of persons or inanimate objects by psychic means. We call this P teleportation. This is where they're talking about remote viewing. Actually, this is probably, I don't know what this one is actually. The last one's either remote viewing or this one is. Either way, not really practical, not something that we can measure at least, okay? Now the next one, regular teleport, or this is the one, this is the key one. VM teleportation. Teleportation, engineering the vacuum or space-time metric. The conveyance of persons or inanimate objects across space by altering the properties of the space-time vacuum or by altering the space-time metric geometry. We will call this VM teleportation. This is warp drive. You are reading it right here. He goes into detail later on. I may even dig it up. So then he also has quantum entanglement, which is also real teleportation. The disembodied transport of the quantum state of a system and its correlations across space to another system, where system refers to any single or collective particles or matter of energy, such as baryons, protons, neutrons, etc., leptons, electrons, photons, atoms, ions, etc. We will call this Q teleportation. So quantum teleportation has already been proven. We've been able to prove quantum teleport, depending on who you believe, information or just simply quantum states. Now, exotic teleportation, this is similar again to the psychic one, conveyance of persons or inanimate objects by transport through extra dimensions or parallel universes. We call this E teleportation. So this is going to be like your remote viewing type stuff. Now, the one we care about is VM teleportation. VM teleportation. So no one had applied Einstein's field equation to determine whether or not there are solutions compatible with the concept of teleportation. Now, so he provides the solutions. You'll notice that this here as well looks very similar to some unification theories. Wormhole thin shell formalization. The flat-faced traversable wormhole solution is derived from the thin shell. And then he gives some examples. And this is, again, so this is like a wormhole. This is like for the observer, if you're walking through this, it's going to be like walking through a doorway. So if you disappear in that black mass, you just appear somewhere else. That's warp drive, technically. Let me see. Was there any other part I want? So he goes into the equations. He goes into the math. He uses Einstein's equations. We're dealing with negative surface energy and negative surface tensions. He mentions as well is that the result is, in fact, the primary matter energy requirement for traversable wormholes. I think that he says, yeah, here it is. Negative energies. Oh, wait, where is it? The negative surface tension is needed to keep the throat open and stable. They should not be alarmed. Negative energies and negative stress tensions are an acceptable result, both mathematically and physically. The effects of negative energy have been produced in the laboratory. The effects of negative energy have been produced in the laboratory. So in short, negative energy arises from Heisenberg's quantum uncertainty principle, which requires that energy density of electromagnetic, magnetic, or electric or other fields must fluctuate randomly. So we do have the capability for negative energies. Negative energies and negative stress tensions are an acceptable result both mathematically and physically, and they manifest gravitational repulsion, anti-gravity exclamation point, in and around the wormhole throat. Yahtzee. Okay. We can now build a wormhole Stargate and affect VM teleportation such that a traveler stepping into the throat encounters no exotic matter energy there. This will require it to be flat-shaped. I think that's probably good. Oh, here we go. Exotic matter energy requirements. One should know, where is it? I thought the nonlinearity of the Einstein field equations dictates that the total mass is 0. Oh, here we go. Visser demonstrated that the existence of space-time geometries containing traversable wormholes that are supported by arbitrarily small quantities of exotic matter energy, and that they proved this was a general result. So he's saying that we don't need a huge amount of negative energy to pull this off. And we have the ether, which is theoretically an infinite amount. Okay. So there we go on that. Appreciate you guys as well. Thank you, Rat Corporation. I can't keep up with the chat, guys. You guys are popping off. Oh, my God. You are popping off. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is going to be patented. And the way they do the patents, guys, just as a quick spoiler alert, is all the components get patented, but they don't combine them together. Like, it's probably just at like Los Alamos or some of these other, like maybe the Huntsville, Alabama, what is it? The Marshall NASA Propulsion Laboratory. These are the ones where they're putting it together. And they're probably doing it in a way where very few people see the combined result. This is how very few people know about it. The only people that are going to know about this technology, even in the military, are going to be the people that are like way up near the top. Like your General Flynn's of the Defense Intelligence Agency, or your Joseph F. Dunford, who is the highest ranking military officer and advisor to the president and Joint Chiefs of Staff and the Secretary of Defense. Like, those are the people that are going to know about it. And the reason why they're in those positions is because they know not to talk about it. They know to be quiet. And they know the implications that if they even said it, no one would believe them anyway. So those are the reasons why those people are in the positions that they're in. Now let's go to the next paper. Let's look at the Kona Blue. So this document just came out last week. It got declassified. AARO dropped it. It goes back to 2008, somewhere on here. Tucker Carlson mentioned this document. He was talking about Lou Elizondo. Lou Elizondo was supposedly had written or signed some kind of NDA to never talk about this document back in 2008 and told Tucker Carlson that. He was reading the text message from Lou Elizondo while he was on with Joe Rogan. I don't think it's by the way, the thing about Flynn people are talking about, I don't think it's any coincidence that General Flynn follows me on Twitter. General Flynn follows me on Twitter. Why? If I'm pushing some fake debunked UFO videos, why is the former director of the Defense Intelligence Agency following me on Twitter? Think about that. Well, and also, why is he talking about ETs controlling our government? Pretty bold statements, man. So what's the part that I want to read off on this? I don't want to read through this whole thing. There's a lot here. I think actually Ian Carroll is going to do a deep dive on this on next Tuesday. I've interacted with Ian Carroll. I was in a space with him last night. Seems like an awesome dude. I already have a bromance with this guy. Just think he's a really cool guy, really down to earth. I like everything he's saying. He's very logical and rational. Appreciate him for sure. Now, this basically breaks this document up into different categories. So this Discovery Center, they've got the Advanced Technology Center for advanced propulsion and countermeasures. They've got this Consciousness Center if you're into remote viewing stuff, the Integration Center, etc. I was trying to look for a date. Somewhere it says 2008 on here. I don't know where. Now, if I dig down and go to, where is it? Where's the space-time metric ones? Okay, I'm just going to skip down to where I know it says it. I might even have to go through my Twitter because this thing's like 50 pages long. Was that it? Somewhere in here it talks about warping space-time. I think it's down near the bottom down here. Here we go. Application and engineering. Associated exotic technologies likely involve extremely sophisticated concepts within the worlds of quantum physics, nuclear science, electromagnetic theory, gravitics, and thermodynamics, given that all of these have the potential to be used with catastrophic effects by adversaries. An unusually high degree of operational security and read-on discretion is required. Now, let me just break this down into English for you, but also let's just read the paragraph right after that. Due to the expertise required to carry out the objectives in the program, we will require a small, specialized group of DoD personnel who are dedicated to performing the SAP, Special Access Program, related functions and executing programmatic requirements within the program. It is essential that the government and military personnel who are already involved with this program are assigned to further support this program in the restricted SAP capacity. These individuals all possess the appropriate security clearances and are already providing unique support to the ATIP. This is why Elon Musk doesn't know about it, guys. Most of the military doesn't even know about this. There's probably generals that don't even know about this. That's how compartmentalized it is. It's so few people that it's actually problematic because there's actually like not even an easy way to get this out. This is why I'm probably red pilling AARO people who don't think the stuff's real because they've never had any verifiable evidence. And I give them the verifiable evidence. And they go, oh, shit. Oh, crap. This is real. This guy gave me videos that show that it's real. We really took this plane. We warped the plane out of space-time. So pretty wild. Now, where is the part about warping space-time? Somewhere up here. I think it's up here somewhere. AAV hardware. I think the AAV stuff is also like advanced anomalous vehicle or something like that. Yeah, advanced aerospace vehicle materials. Is this the part? Can I do a search? Oh no, this is not a document you can search. Somebody in here will probably know. Trying to think of how I can do this. I think if I just look it up real quick, give me a second. As every single one. My phone is blowing up. My notifications are blowing up. One sec. Kona Blue. Oh, okay. I'm also going to read the AARO letter to you guys right now, okay? So AARO letter. This is on my Twitter from April 12th. Mr. Forbes, my apologies for the slow responses. AARO is researching several topics at the moment. Some of AARO's initial research into MH370 has revealed the U.S. government's search efforts after the airliner disappeared from radar. What? I believe the genesis and authenticity of the videos may be helpful. Can you confirm the date that the videos were posted to the Regicide Anon YouTube channel? And yes, a quick follow-up call may be helpful. Oh, dude, these guys know it's real, man. What do you want? What do you guys want, man? Why would they reply to me like that for some fake CGI videos? There's no way. Okay, so here's the other part on the Kona Blue document. I don't know where it is in this thing. Somewhere where it says question 2. Oh, here it is right here. Okay, we found it. Here it is. Okay. Remote viewing, remote communication, and dematerialization, rematerialization techniques used to observe, communicate, retrieve data, and transfer matter across dimensional and space-time barriers will undoubtedly be of utmost interest, if not a top collection priority for adversarial intelligence / security services. Countermeasures against such techniques would also be a collection priority. I mean, they're talking about being able to warp an object right there. Right there, guys. Probably do need a screener, but I'm a one-man show, chat, so it's hard for me to keep all this flowing. Okay, now let's look at the next thing. So if you still don't think that it's possible, here's the Eagle Works Laboratories Warp Field Physics by Dr. Harold Sonny White. NASA, what is this? Joint Space Command or something? I don't know what JSC stands for. Something like that. Hyper fast interstellar travel. Is there a way within the physics of framework one could cross any given cosmic distance in an arbitrarily short period of time? Yeah, space warps. Right there. Here it is. Wormhole. Shortcut. What do you guys want from me here? Oh, wait, I'm not even showing it to you. You probably want to see the things that I'm showing you. Oh, did I not show you guys the other thing? Here's the AARO thing right here. Question 2A. Okay. Sorry, we're doing the ASMR real quick. Okay. Joint Space Command. Yeah, so just a doctor physicist in the Joint Space Command from NASA writing PDFs about warp field physics. Literally showing us wormholes and warping of objects. Literally showing us Alcubierre drive right here. This is how it works. Bending space-time around the object. Here's the math. It all checks out. Here's the bubble topography optimization. I mean, this is about as detailed as you could possibly get to. Bubble oscillation optimization. Exotic mass warp requirements based on the size of the object that you're trying to warp here. Something from a Nimitz class carrier all the way up to something the size of the Earth or Jupiter. Warp field interferometer. I didn't even notice this. Warp field interferometer, guys. Guys, remember how I said that you warp an object? Jesus, I didn't even know about this. How did I say that you warp an object, guys? I didn't even realize this is literally written into there. Mixed wave interferometry system focused on the plane. The fourth orb shoots a wave in the interferometry zone located anywhere in the plane, rides the mirrored gravitational wave back to the location of the fourth orb. Warp field interferometer. I think he's actually explaining it right here. toroidal capacitor ring, normal to beam path, resultant spherical field. This is, imagine your airplane's right in here. Imagine the fourth orb is here shooting the beam at it, and then you're going to get the reflected beam right back, and your object's going to warp away. You're creating a bend in space-time. Warp bubble detection, attempting to use interferometry. Goal is to use interferometry to detect and measure effect of a warp bubble on the optical path length through the measurement of associated interference fringe shifts. Here's his lab. So this is where, like, you can see even a small lab, just on a small scale, to measure this, like how complex this would be. I remember when I first looked at this, I went, wow, like, we're not going to be able to recreate this. We're not going to be able to recreate this. Like, this is going to require, like, literally NASA level equipment in order to pull this off. Yeah, physics, if people start to realize these videos are real and these get authenticated, physics is going to change. They're going to have to rewrite the laws of physics. Unfortunately, I mean, they're mostly correct. They're mostly correct. All of this is mostly consistent with general relativity, but the conservation of energy is going to have to get rewritten, unfortunately, because we're going to be able to produce energy levels that are essentially infinite. So here's there. You can see the laser beams here and how they have it set up with their mirrors here as well, right here in the middle of the beam splitter. So you notice there's this consistent pattern in the way they're set up with beam splitters and lasers when they pull this stuff off. And when you have advanced equipment like we have with the orbs, then all this stuff is in the size, something in the size of the orb that's out there. And here, I think, is where you can see the proof where actually there supposedly is some minor amount of bending that's happening in this zone here. I think that's what he's showing. Yeah, so here you can actually see the bending of space-time right here. You see the bend in this? This is experimental evidence of them producing a warp in the space-time. These lines should be exactly parallel. They shouldn't be bending like this. That's what his experiment is showing right here. So they probably, I don't know what happened to this guy. He, I would say rest in peace, Sonny Harold White. I'm actually afraid to Google his name. We're going to do it anyway, though. Let's hope he's still alive, chat. 1965. Oh, looks like he's still alive for now. 58 years old. Harold Sonny White, I'm praying for you, my man. I'm praying for you to stay alive. You know, people who look into this stuff generally don't seem to last very long, unfortunately. Do we have a year on this? This paper have a year anywhere? I don't see it anywhere. You know, we're not going to dig too much more into this, but we've got this paper. So now you guys have seen this paper from EagleWorks Laboratories. It also ends up talking about like how far you can get how long it would take to get your object there using warp travel. So pretty cool stuff. We're not done yet. Okay, next one. This is a news article. DARPA, which is, what is this, Defense Advanced Research Projects or something like that, funded researchers accidentally discover the world's first warp bubble. I'm going to post this probably tomorrow. This has been out there since 2021. Literally, DARPA talking about producing a warp bubble. Engage. People just... Oh, look who it is. Warp drive pioneer and former NASA warp specialist Harold G. Sonny White. Hello. Hello. There he is. The discovery of the actual real-world warp bubble, and according to White, this is the first of its kind's breakthrough in his Limitless Space Institute team, sets a new starting point for those trying to manufacture full-sized warp-capable spacecraft. So if they were publicly talking about it in 2021, imagine how far advanced the secret military projects actually are. So do people still think that warp drive is not possible? We've got NASA scientists showing it. And look, Casimir effect again. Notice when we look at the Eric Davis paper, the Casimir effect was what allowed us to produce the negative energy. And actually, look, that's what it says right here. Casimir cavities helped us to identify a real and manufacturable nano microstructure that is predicted to generate a negative vacuum energy density. You guys want to know what a negative vacuum energy density looks like? Who wants to know what a negative vacuum energy density looks like? There's your negative energy vacuum density. You're looking at it. An endothermic event, a cold absorption of energy. That's your negative energy vacuum density right there. You guys are staring at warp drive right now. This is it. The MH370 videos show, this is why they're showing it in super slow-mo. Person that leaked this wanted us to see this. That's your negative energy density event. Negative energy, absorption of energy, cold explosion, as Thomas Bearden pointed out. There you go. Poof. For the record, I don't even want the Nobel Prize. I just want, what's the journalism one, guys? What's the award for journalism? They should at least give the journalism award to somebody that does real journalism. Pulitzer? Is it the Pulitzer? I want the Pulitzer, and then I'm going to go on stream. I'm going to rip it up on stream in front of everybody. Give me the Pulitzer, and I'm just going to rip it up on stream in front of everybody just to show how much of a joke journalism is in this country at this point. Just to crap on it. Yeah, give me the Pulitzer. I don't care about Nobel Prizes. I'll let the other scientists and engineers like Salvatore Pais and Dave Rossi and I don't know, maybe the Eric Davises and the Hal Puthoffs and the Jack Sarfatis fight about who gets the Nobel Prize. I don't care about that. I'm a citizen journalist. All I did was find this stuff out from these videos and not give up. So there we go. Yeah, very punk rock. We're gonna punk rock. We're gonna take that. We're gonna take that Pulitzer. I'm just gonna rip it up on stream in front of everybody. Just rip that thing up to shreds. I would probably get some legit views from that. Okay. Our finding is not a warp bubble analog. It is a real, albeit humble and tiny warp bubble. Literal warp bubble produced. Pictures of Alcubierre Drive right here. They literally produced a warp bubble, not a theoretical one, a literal warp bubble. They didn't use something to, just estimate what the warp bubble will look like or whatever. Actually produced one here. And then it talks about how you would do it. We don't care about theoretical. We are literally staring at videos of it in use in action. Whew. Okay, chat. This has been one stream. One more paper to go through, chat. And it's a doozy. Warp drive, dark energy, and the manipulation of extra dimensions. April 2nd, 2010. The dates on these are important as well because it goes to show you this all predates the videos. Publicly available information that predates the MH370 videos. Cheers, chat. Cheers to everybody out there on Friday. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, the award is smashing them alien cheeks, chat. My martini is almost done here. Here we go. Guys, we got whistleblowers in the chat. Willian says, I'm a former mod in the community of r/aliens, the alien subreddit. I assure you the top mod is infiltrated. We already knew that because EBO scientists got deleted in real time when he posted on alien subreddit. We watched it happen. Reddit is 100% Fed controlled. 100%. Nobody should go onto Reddit. You should not believe anything you see on Reddit. It's full of disinfo agents and feds. That's the reason why they got so pissed off that Elon bought X. If I was still on Reddit posting what I've been doing, I would have got banned off Reddit for no justifiable reason. They would have just banned me. They literally did ban my subreddit and gave me no reason whatsoever for banning it. They banned my subreddit, gave me no justification. I appealed it. They ignored my appeal. I applied a second appeal, and they came back and they said, we're not going to allow your subreddit, and they also wouldn't tell me why. They literally told me they wouldn't tell me why. Just straight up joke. Did CERN figure this out? Yeah, I think that CERN is suppressing information. CERN absolutely is powerful enough that they should have been able to figure this out. Most likely they're self-sabotaging themselves as to not leak science to the public about what is possible. CERN is just a big show. We don't need a giant particle collider to prove all this stuff. As we've seen, some tiny orbs can pull off these effects that are probably magnitudes more powerful than CERN is. People get afraid that you would create a black hole from CERN. Guys, if these orbs didn't create a black hole that sucked in the universe, then definitely CERN is no risk. We got stuff out there that makes CERN look like little baby toys. Okay. Yeah, so the orbs, the thing about Alcubierre drive is you have to realize it's not just something that's connected to your craft. This is the thing about the videos that is the reason why the intelligence community is sitting there with a gun next to them thinking about blowing their brains out, is because we have now realized that they can use floaty orbs to produce warp drive effects on any craft that's out there. It's probably required at this point that it's in the air so that you don't have land underneath it so you can, circle it correctly. But in the future, we'll be able to have like a doorway where you can walk through like a Stargate once we get the technology miniaturized to even a smaller level. But for the most part, the science that we are talking about here is fundamentally equivalent to Alcubierre drive. They're creating a warp bubble with those orbs. Now, in theory, you could probably have some of those orbs connected to your object and have it like resonate and set up in a way where it knows the exact amount of energy to create the bubble, to create the mouth of the wormhole, so that it only sucks in the craft and it doesn't suck in like half the craft. But that's what those orbs are doing in the video. They're mapping the plane to make sure how big they need the zap to be, the negative energy event, so that the whole plane goes through without getting ripped in half or something. Okay, what else we got? Yeah, Fedit, Plebit, Predators, whatever you want to call them. Just all of the above, guys. All of the above. Reddit is cancer. That's also correct. All of Reddit is a joke. Also correct. Everybody's correct. Everybody's correct tonight. Yeah, everyone's correct. F Reddit. You guys are on it. 4chan, I respect 4chan. They were actually on our side early on. Feel you. The top mod wanted to delete the community of aliens forever, but Reddit did not allow them. They received a message saying that the top mod would be removed. Wow, dude. Dude, just keep dropping the truth bombs on us. We all hate Reddit here. We all hate Reddit. That was during the blackout. Okay. So if Elon Musk was watching any part of this, or anyone knows Elon Musk, he doesn't even need to talk to me, but can you get him to talk to some people so he can figure out that like all of his whole SpaceX is obsolete and we can just move to Star Trek? He's got the money to pull it off. Let's just move to Star Trek and skip past all the bullshit. Doesn't he want to go to Mars? Mars is like child's play now. We don't need to just go to Mars. We can go to Alpha Centauri. Now, I don't know how the time dilation effect's going to work. You might go to Alpha Centauri and you might come back and it might be 10 years later, and you might not have aged. But yeah. Okay, let's see what else we got going on here. Oh boy, guys, chat. You guys are on fire. You guys are on fire right now. Oh boy, we're calling names out. Geltoid, top mod. Didn't he get removed? Yeah, Reddit is a misinformation platform. It's a lie. I love this guy. I love this Willen guy. Epic. Okay, let's go through the last paper, guys, and then we can call it a night here. Yeah, 99.6%, maybe even 99.9% of the press is just straight up propaganda. Honestly, also, guys, the UFO community, like a very small number of the UFO community even realize what they're dealing with. For aliens or whatever to get here, you pretty much have to have warp drive, and it's consistent with the laws of physics. So it blows my mind that I'm sitting here telling people we have warp drive capabilities, and people aren't just like fawning over me going, hey, tell me how this works. Tell me how this works. Blah, blah, blah. Because this is what they need if they want aliens to be here. I don't care about aliens being here. I just care about the science. So Defense Intelligence Reference Document, warp drive, dark energy, and manipulation of extra dimensions. Let's just go to general relativistic warp drives and warp drive requirements. And then maybe we'll look at the Casimir effect, and we'll probably call it there. Hey, look, Kaluza is listed here. Kaluza is who Thomas Bearden talked about with the unification theory in 1921. 1921. It's incredible now that I read these names, I actually know the reference now. It's like when you start learning a language and all of a sudden you start speaking Spanish. It's like that's what it feels like to me out there. Even if an engine were to be designed that could propel a spacecraft to an appreciable fraction of the speed of light, travel to even the closest stars would take many decades in the frame of reference of the observer on Earth. Although these lengthy transit times would not make interstellar exploration impossible, they would certainly dampen the enthusiasm for governments or private individuals funding these missions. So we need something that goes faster than the speed of light. Good news, we have it. It's called warp travel. Here we go. General relativistic warp travel. Look at this. There's your Alcubierre drive. Once again, guys, the answer is Alcubierre drive. That's it. We're seeing it now from NASA people, Eric Davis. We're seeing it in this paper here from the Defense Intelligence Agency. I think this is what this is. Is this Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA? Yeah, I think this is. So again, I mean, General Flynn knows, man. General Flynn knows. Alcubierre derived a space-time metric motivated by the cosmological inflation that would allow arbitrarily short travel times between two distant points in space. The warp drive metric uses coordinates, blah, 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 curve, blah, 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 where c is the speed of light. Okay, let's go. The behavior of the warp drive bubble provides for simultaneous expansion of space behind the spacecraft and a corresponding contraction of space in front of the spacecraft. Why is this important? Because we're seeing the orbs create space in front of them. The geodesic. When I talk about the geodesic, they're creating space in front of them, and the orbs are traveling along those lines like train tracks. We're watching it happen. Nobody... You guys think a hoaxer came up with this? Was the hoaxer like Eric W. Davis? Was the hoaxer Sonny White? Like, there's only like a few people on the planet that even understood this science back in 2014. Was the hoaxer Juan Maldacena? Like, who is this hoaxer? You have to have a better understanding of physics than 99.9% of PhD physicists out there just to even begin to make the MH370 videos. And you have to get the engineering of the plane accurate and scaled down in 2 different videos as well, and military classified information that nobody knew. You have to have better understanding of low energy nuclear reactions than Bob Greenier has, and he's an expert. Okay, let's see what else it says here. Thus, the spacecraft is enveloped in a warp bubble and can be made to exhibit an arbitrarily large, faster than light FTL speed as viewed by the external coordinate observers, even though the world lines inside the warp bubble region are space-like for all external observers. The moving spaceship warp bubble frame itself never travels outside of its local co-moving light cone and thus does not violate special relativity. So why is it not violating special relativity? Because it's encased in a bubble. We're just moving the bubble around. So for the person inside of it, it's just going to look like you just appear somewhere else. It's not that the actual object is increasing to the speed of light. We're cheating. We're not increasing the object to the speed of light. We're encasing it in a bubble, and we're moving the bubble around. And as we heard from, which one of these documents was it? The letter to Ashton Forbes said that you can have a relatively low energy phase transition. That would actually, and the only reason I remember this because I've listened to it like 50 times, that's what Jack Sarfati said. We actually don't need huge amounts of energy to pull this off. So if the letter to me is correct, we actually don't need a huge, unlimited, impossible amount of energy to pull this off. And this is why it makes it possible. And we can also produce huge amounts of energy because we have our huge orbs, charged orbs, converging, consistent with Coulomb's law, create an exponentially large growth in energy as well. So yeah, and this is also the equivalent of mass reduction as well. Inertial mass reduction. No inertial effects inside of the bubble. So nobody's going to spill their drinks. Joe, perfect. Great comment, sir. The craft becomes a bubble of photon energy. Probably. I think that's close enough. The best part about this, guys, is that I'm not even a PhD physicist or even an electrical engineer. I've learned so much in just 6 months. This is how powerful. This is why the government hides videos like the MH370 videos. Because just from seeing the videos, even a normal person can discern so much information and real physics knowledge. Because it's the equivalent of being given the answer sheet from the teacher to the test. You get the answer to the test, and you just work backwards. You go, okay, well, the answer is 10. Okay, now I'm going to go figure out how I achieved 10 as my answer out there. And then I go look around and I'm like, oh, whoop, there's like dozens of papers, scientists all talking about how it's possible. Literal experimental proof from 2021 by the guy that wrote the NASA slides about the warp bubble. He literally has proof from 2021 that's public proof. And people say that the military is decades ahead. So there's your answer right there. Whew. What is stopping Joe Rogan from bringing me on his show? Great question, chat. Great question. I think like Elon Musk, these people think that I'm talking about aliens. They think that I'm talking about, science that they can't believe. They think they're looking at video game graphics in these videos. The answer for people like Joe Rogan and anybody else who thinks we're looking at video game effects or whatever is like, they just have to wake up. Just wake up, man. Watch the stream of what I'm showing you guys right now. Let them know, have them watch this stream. Look at all the papers that I pulled up. I spent like 10 minutes just to pull these up. That's it. That's how fast I was able to pull up all these references that I'm sharing with you guys tonight. This is not hidden out there. It's all just straight up in the open. All people have to do is go look at it. Okay. Let's see. Where's the thing about the exotic matter is generally defined by general relativity physics to be matter that possesses renormalized negative energy density and or negative stress tension equals outside positive outward pressure, aka gravitational repulsion. Why is superconductivity important? Because superconductivity changes the spin on our electrons that are normally 1/2 and turns them to bosonic, which is a 1-spin electron. This is what's allowing for gravitational repulsion. So as the letter to Ashton Forbes said, superconductivity is not the basis for the technology, but the basis for the technology produces superconductivity, coherent matter, and then that is what allows for the anti-gravitational effects to happen. This is why semiconductors are the thing that we are protecting the most, because room temperature superconductivity, or just superconductivity in general, is producing gravitational effects. This is why we're hiding it. This is the answer to everything that anyone wants to know. Yeah, it's absolutely a matter of national security. I would never hurt myself or harm myself. I just want to say that again real quick. And if they wanted to keep this hidden, they should have talked to me months and months and months ago. They should have not tried to debunk me, but they did. Let's see. Anything else I want to dig into on this? Oh, Casimir effect. The Casimir effect is interesting because the Casimir effect is like if we put two bars next to each other, then the wavelengths that are larger than the width between the bars can't fit in there anymore. And so what ends up happening? There's a force between them. And so this is, I think, how people kind of define that there must be this ether that has this quantum oscillator happening behind the scenes. Now, I may be saying those effects incorrectly. The Casimir effect, which we explored in much more detail in this paper, is arguably the most salient manifestation of the quantum vacuum. When people talk about the quantum vacuum, they're pretty much talking about the ether, in my opinion. Casimir published a profound paper where he explained the van der Waals interaction in terms of 0-point energy and the quantized field. Guys, 0-point energy comes up a lot in this. They're talking about the ether. In the most basic form, the Casimir effect is realized through the interaction of a pair of neutral parallel constructing plates. The presence of the plates modifies the quantum vacuum, and the modification causes the plates to be pulled towards each other with a force. You're going to notice the Casimir effect comes up here a lot. There's your image as well. Oh, we're going to read this part too. Extra space dimensions. In connection with the Casimir effect, extra dimensions provide a rich area for one to generate models that explain the origin of dark energy. Again, we don't need dark energy. Dark energy is just the ether, man. The ether is real. It explains dark energy. We don't need dark matter, dark energy. Throw it all out. Bring the ether back. Problem solved. Technically speaking, the Casimir effect is a direct consequence of the non-trivial boundary conditions that the presence of the conducting plates imposes upon the quantum vacuum. The quantum modes on the interior region of the plates are restricted. And there is a pressure difference when compared to the quantum vacuum on the exterior of the plates. Area of the difference versus area out. It is this pressure that causes the plates to attract. A very similar phenomenon to the Casimir effect can occur when quantum vacuum energy in extraspatial dimensions are considered. The exploration of this idea has important ramifications on the context of explaining dark energy. Before one can address these ideas, it is necessary to review the whole of higher dimensional space in physics. It was Riemann, with his development of differential geometry in the 19th century, who provided the necessary tools to study higher dimensional descriptions of the world. Riemann held the belief that three-dimensional space was not enough to provide adequate description of nature. Improvements in physics led to Maxwell's unified theory of electricity and magnetism, and then general relativity, which unified space and time with general relativity. Inspired by these unifications, physicists of the early 20th century wanted to unify gravity and electromagnetism. The first attempt was by Nordstrom in 1914, who used a scalar potential for the gravitational field. Chat. Nordstrom in 1914 used a scalar potential for the gravitational field. Stress in the medium. Later, Wheel and Kaluza, using Einstein's tensor potential, followed suit two separate paths. Wheel's attempt involved an alteration of the geometry of spacetime in 4 dimensions. His early attempts had physical consequences which did not match the experimental data. However, Wheel's work was extended by Einstein and Schrödinger independently in the Einstein-Schrödinger non-symmetric field theory, which is widely regarded as the most advanced unified field theory based on classical physics. 1919, Kaluza, who came up with his unification theory in 1921, offered a unique approach to unifying gravity and electromagnetism, which involved adding additional spatial dimension to general relativity and populating this extra dimension with 2 mathematical objects called a vector potential and a scalar potential. Yahtzee! Booyah! Scalar physics is real. Fuck the haters. The ether is real. Scalar physics is real. Scalar weapons is real. Everything, all the warp drive is real. We've been getting lied to. The MH370 videos prove it. Yeah, we'll just dab on them. We're dabbing on the haters, dabbing on the intelligence community. You know, just get out of my way. We're telling the world the truth. Anyway, I think that's probably good. That's probably good. So I'm going to post this link in the chat. I'm going to post this on my Twitter account as well. So there you go, guys. We have just shown that Thomas Bearden was right. We can manipulate gravity. The science goes back to 1914. That's how long we've been getting lied to. The reason why we haven't been able to figure out how anti-gravity works in the public sphere is because the science has been literally hamstrung from us. Oliver Heaviside probably did the biggest disservice to all electromagnetism in the history of the world. And the government's probably known about this for decades and decades and decades. And that's why we can't figure it out. Probably most of Elon Musk's people that work for him at SpaceX are, I don't want to say obsolete, but they probably should learn how scalar physics works like really quickly so that we can start getting the anti-gravitational effects going and we don't have to use any more stupid propulsion rockets anymore, in terms of chemical rockets, because it's a big waste of time. And I don't give a shit about aliens, Elon. I just want to go to Mars. So maybe we can take a portal to Mars together. If you want, you can hire me to SpaceX and I'll teach your physicists and your engineers how electrical engineering really works. Yeah, let's take this thing to the future, man. Let's go to the future. Let's go to Star Trek. Let's not destroy ourselves. Let's go to space communism. And I think we'll have a good time. So thank you guys very much for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate you. I hope you guys learned a lot about warp drive. I hope you take this education that we've gone through here and you share the word with other people. If you want your other podcasters to talk to me, I would appreciate it. I've even had somebody as recently as today tell me that they've been getting messaged by people telling people not to talk to me. Just think about what I'm disclosing And think about the fact that there's literal feds and disinfo agents out there telling podcasters not to talk to me. If you are somebody out there who's telling people not to talk to me, you are an absolute piece of shit, and you are one of the worst human beings on the face of the earth. And in the future, if people tell me your name, I'm going to blast you all over social media to my 100,000 followers and on live streams as well. And I'm going to tell people what a piece of shit that you are. So don't do it. Last warning. If you're one of the people who's trying to debunk these videos, I am going to send the families after you to sue you for every single fucking penny that you have. This includes Mick West. It includes the Corridor Crew. It includes Jonas DeRoe and any other debunker that puts their real name next to any debunk attempts on these videos. You have been warned. That is what I'm going to do. It's not a threat. It's a promise. I will have them take everything that you have. I will make sure the media crucifies you and make sure that you are go down in the history books as an enemy of humanity. Is that 100% clear out there, debunkers and Redditors and other pieces of crap? Anyway, on a positive note, thank you very much, everybody who has been supporting the case, supporting getting the information out there. Nobody should be against the government issuing a statement about these videos. We have proven the videos are real, proven who the leaker is. We have shown that the science is real. We have given verifiable evidence to the AARO, who are the people responsible for investigating this. There is no excuse. There's no excuse. If anybody does not want the government to issue a statement on it, then they are duplicitous and deceptive, and they are not trying to achieve the truth. And on that note, guys, we are going to take off. Have a great evening. I'm going to look up some more topics to talk about tomorrow. We'll probably be talking about cold fusion tomorrow, since people were trying to community note my posts about cold fusion and claiming it's not real. So we're probably just going to blast those people next. And that's probably just what I'll do, because I'm a high science influencer. Thank you very much. MH370X, Ashton out. Peace.
It's MH370. Until you do some research, don't talk to me. I'm going to find the truth while I sip this martini. Your opinion, it means squat to me. It's H370. Not all heroes wear capes. I wear glasses to see. I'm going to find the truth while I sip this martini. The trolls hate seeing me succeed, but guess what? H370. It's H370. Until you do some research, don't talk to me. I'm going to find the truth while I sip this martini. Your opinion, it means squat to me. It's H370. Not all heroes wear capes. I wear glasses to see. I'm going to find the truth while I sip this martini. The trolls hate seeing me succeed, Guess what? MH370. Guess what? MH370. Not all heroes wear capes. I wear glasses to see. I'm going to find the truth while I sip this martini. Your opinion, it means what to me? Your opinion.